yeah. Welcome, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fans. Get our heads right for a Thursday. That was a completely feigned yell there. Everyone in this room is a little bit tired. I would say that's the mood that I feel right now. I feel tired. You look tired. Paulie looks tired. So I had to fake that yell right out of the chute, the fake enthusiasm. Can you do one? You do a fake one. Yeah.
No,
yeah, he's just not.
I'm
doesn't
not
have
tired,
it
though. I'm actually feeling pretty good today.
The Aztecs loss, I think, has put him in a death spiral.
No, I'm fired up. There's
you don't sound
UCSD
fired
game
up
tonight. I'm excited about basketball. This is one of the best days on the sports calendar. Next 2 days, got 32 basketball games that you can watch. Basketball Ben really, really enjoys the first 4 days, especially of the NCAA tournament.
Well, you get the combo today of golf Ben and basketball Ben. We'll explain in a moment. Friggin' group chat yesterday laid me out. Good morning, everybody. Glad that you're here. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
Whoa!
Yeah, buddy. Good to see you. Yeah, hell yeah.
Woo!
It's hard, man. It
has been a week.
It's been a week, number one, but it's also like, can we get this baseball season going for the love of God? Again, I submit to you, it's 1 week too long. Today should be opening freaking day. What do we need? What do they need to do?
It was opening day last year.
Was it?
In Korea.
Well, in Korea,
yeah.
And then
that bit sucks.
Part of the problem is that just weather around the country. You got to find 16 cities.
It's not my problem. It's literally not my problem.
But I actually thought of a solution, because part of you don't want to players, the owners don't want to shorten the season.
Right.
They want to expand the playoffs, but you can't make it run into the middle of
December.
November. Yeah. The calendar is the issue here, because it's not like there's a bunch of off days. You can just start playing baseball games. What if the first week or two of the season was just played in Arizona and Florida?
100%.
And you just counted, they were like real games, but they were played at your spring training facilities.
I don't want that.
You don't want that.
No, I don't want that.
I don't want
surely there's 16 or 15 cities that either have a dome
or are nice
or are in good enough weather.
Yeah.
Like really a week's really going to make that much of a difference?
Right. Like Baltimore next week in Baltimore, it's going to be 73. It's 46 right now. I just don't know. I mean, I know it's dumping in Colorado right now. I don't know what Denver looks like, but my father-in-law sent me a video of where we're going this weekend, and he's like, it's been snowing all day. It was feet of snow is where I'm heading in the next 2 days. It's going to be very strange.
I'm just thinking of like the northern teams. Like, all right,
New York,
Seattle, you're opening the season in Texas. Minnesota,
no,
you have
to play in Seattle because it's indoors, isn't it?
No. They have a roof.
They have a roof. Yeah. Just everything's on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Denver, you're going to,
which is fine, but then
Sacramento.
all of a sudden in the middle of summer, when it's really nice, the Padres have nothing but road games all summer because
not nothing. But we're talking about a week. We're talking about a week
here.
We're talking about 1 week. It's just too long. It's too long.
6 games.
Everybody's getting ready. Everybody's fired. It's really me, man. I'm crawling out of my skin.
They kind of do that for the first week anyway.
I know.
Because in early April,
they kind of do that.
So they kind of, the Padres almost always start at home because of that same reason. They try to keep some of the colder outdoor teams from having to play too many home games in early April.
Yeah, I'm just ready to get it going. And I know I'm impatient. It just seems like this one's dragged on super slowly. You are Ben Higgins. You're a friendly neighborhood sports anchor. I didn't even introduce you. I do apologize for that. Yes, do you have something?
I had a question for you.
Shoot.
Not to change the subject, but tomorrow at this time we'll be at Dave & Buster's.
Correct.
Doing our live remote. And I'm trying to remember, where's the weirdest place either we or you have done a live remote broadcast? Dave & Buster's pretty normal, actually.
Yeah, that's actually like kind of the dream for a radio host.
I know you've done. Did you do one of those either billboards? No, you did a storage container or.
Well, I slept.
At Dave & Buster's, you slept there, but you didn't do the broadcast from that.
No.
I remember one day at the old station, we did a show in front of a Dunkin' Donuts on Rosecrans Boulevard.
I remember that. That
was one of the more bizarre places to do a radio show.
It was I'd say about 19 degrees.
Yeah.
And it was our first live remote. And they said, we're going to send you guys out. It's at the old station. And they said, we're going to send you guys out to Dunkin' Donuts. And I said, but Bo was such a baby. Bo and Hannah came. Both sat on my lap. He was bundled up, head to toe, and it was
not inside.
No, outside. It was freezing.
Outside, right on the street, like a very busy street, Rosecrans Boulevard there in Point Loma. And we were there for hours, and people were like honking at us.
Nobody came by,
but
nobody came by.
Honk at us.
Pete in Point Loma stopped by, and he brought me a used sweatshirt. So I always appreciate
donuts,
that.
of course. I mean, we had access to unlimited donuts, but that was about it. That was one of the stranger ones for me. But I thought you probably
we broadcasted behind a mall one time.
We were in a parking lot
in a parking lot.
That was once. Grossmont.
Yeah,
Grossmont Center.
Yeah, they put us. People were dropping off
clothing drive,
but we were way like back outside. Like
we're like there's a
dumpster.
I used to live near there, so there's if you know Grossmont Center, there's like the side that has like I'm pretty sure it's been closed for about 15 years. The Claim Jumper.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's the Walmart. And then on the back side of Walmart, there's like the truck loading area, like the ramps for the big
they're loading
trucks.
Yeah.
And we were just somewhere in the corner over there.
It was pretty nuts. The worst ones, no offense to anyone listening, but the worst ones I've ever had to do. You love going to a restaurant. You love going to a bar. You love anything where there's food and you can sit and it's indoors and comfortable.
And people come by, actually enjoy the show and say hi. That's the best.
Those are great. But when you are out on a Saturday from noon to 2 at a cable company or a cell phone carrier, and you are standing at a table, and that's a promotion, but I've done the full 4-hour broadcast. All right, come on out. It's Woodsy. We're live out here at T-Mobile. And stop by. I've got you can spin the wheel of nothing. And I mean, at one point it was like, there's a hug on here. Spin it for a Woodsy hug. And, I got to the point in my career too, where I went to the powers that be, the higher ups. And I said, look, there was a time in radio that I needed this, that extra couple $100 driving out to La Mesa, 45 miles on a Saturday. For that extra couple $100 pre-tax. I need that. I don't need it anymore. Not to sound like a jerk, but I've done it. I put in my time on that stuff. So anytime anybody asks me, hey, man, would you want to come out and do a remote at our Verizon from noon to 2? No. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you $200 so I don't have to come. How about that? I'll give you $200.
$200, you never call me again.
Never call me again. It's just part of the business. And like, I've never understood what it did for the company. Like some guy comes by, he wants to win movie passes, right? And he stands at the table for 2 hours watching you work, and he spins the wheel and he wins a ticket to the movies. And I'm like,
does he change his cell phone carrier while he's there?
Does he walk in at that time and go, you know what, I've been really happy with T-Mobile, but
this pink sign I've been looking at for the last hours calling to me finally.
You know what? I've done it. I've changed my mind. I'm now going to switch it over, but I'm telling you, man, it's tough. And it's funny. I actually had a client meeting yesterday with my beloved Eco Water. And I told them to their face, I said, you guys are such an elite client because not only is the product great, I said, you guys don't bother me. You leave me alone and you let me do my thing. And they're like, that's what we want. We want you to just get on, do your thing. And it's been really successful. And it's so nice to hear that from them. And we had a great lunch, man. I had a couple of blackened mahi tacos that were fantastic. We were at a fancy Poseidon, which is nice, right on the water, and had a great lunch and, talk shop a little bit. And it was kind of fun too, because I used to sell. So I kind of got to sell. And if you're a salesperson in this company and you bring me on a meeting, I don't need you. I just want to talk. Let me talk to the client. So I got to do my thing. It was kind of fun, man. It made me miss sales just a teeny tiny bit. Not enough to get off the air and go back and sell, but it made me miss it a little bit. And, just talking about how successful it's been, the power of radio, power of local radio. It's been really great. It was a really, really good meeting. So that was fun. Then we had Little League last night. And if you listen to this program, you heard my rant. My rant on Little League on Tuesday, I got a lot of feedback.
I think it resonated with a lot of people.
It really did. I mean, it really did. I got DMs for days, people talking about it. Bro, I feel this. It really is tough. We are losing these kids. So before the game last night, grabbed my assistant coach. We sought out the other coach, put our arms around him and said, hey, how's this been for you? He goes, Honestly, it's been a little bit of a train wreck. He said, because their team didn't show. I mean, it was like 5:30. We were supposed to start at 5:27. They had one kid there. So I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing? And I put my arm around him. I go, how's it been for your kids? He goes, some of them are doing great. Some of them are learning. I said, great. I said, last game was fairly excruciating for us. What do you think if we actually try to play some baseball tonight? If your kid gets out, he's out. If my kid gets out, he's out. Let's give him 5-6 swings off the machine. Still too many. And if they don't get it, put the tee up and let's keep this thing moving, right? If we get 3 outs, we're running off. If you get 3 outs, run off. He goes, done, let's do it. We did it. The parents after the game came up and said, that was so much fun. It was like real baseball. That was so great. Thank you. That's the best game we've played. And I said, okay, this is what I'm talking about. Like, get out there and play some real baseball. My kids were making plays. Their kids were making plays.
Sounds like you need to take over as president of the Little League.
You know what? It's one thing, Paulie, that I'm always complaining about extra stuff I have to do. I literally want to go speak to the Little League board in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. I mean, fly up there on my own dime and be like, you've got a problem. That's how I'll start it, Little League.
You got a problem.
Yeah, you got a problem. You're losing kids to other sports because our sport that we love so much, our heart and soul, is boring. It's super, super boring. And I want them to have fun, and I want them to hit and field and try to field and all of that stuff. And last night was a totally different experience entirely. And I just think it comes down to the communication between the coaches or a hard and fast set of rules that you have to play by, one or the other. None of this, no, we want to bat everybody and everybody gets 7 swings. And, that was fun last night. And those kids were good.
You do make a good point because while Major League Baseball is, I think, far from boring at the highest level of the game, it really takes a while before baseball becomes consumable. Even college baseball
no
can
doubt
be a slog when you're sitting there watching. The games can last 4 hours and, you get 19 different pitchers who come in and it's not the best watch.
High school ball, you could go watch 2 elite teams, catch them on the wrong day.
Yeah.
Walk,
error.
Walk.
It takes many years before baseball can be played at the level where we really love it and appreciate it.
No question, man.
How do you get enough kids to stick with it through
the thin,
the thick and the thin?
No, the thin
to get to the thick.
It's thin
at the end of the road. That's very true.
I'm telling you, man. And to see it last night again. Hey, listen, this wasn't as crisp as it could possibly be. But it was worlds apart from the game the other night. That was, 30-minute half innings. And it was very pleasurable. The parents were way into it on both sides. Again, compliments after the game on how hard they played. And I gave all their kids compliments. It was really fun. They didn't make every play by any stretch. But when my pitcher catches a grounder, throws it a seed to my man Cal at first base, who catches it, and that's an out. The celebration, the Bo running over and hugging a kid that made a play, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, teaching them how to stay engaged and have fun. And I really loved it, man. It was pretty incredible last night, and that's what we'd like to kind of grow the game into. Yeah, so it was fun, much more pleasurable experience last night.
Well, I'm glad
than Monday night.
And
I was sweating it too.
Every revolution starts with one moment.
That's right, one leader.
And perhaps your rant earlier this week was a Little League revolution. The seed that will turn into a giant sequoia of a change.
And it's funny too because you're talking about, Paul. You said you catch 2 elite high school teams on the wrong day, bro. You catch 2 college basketball teams on the wrong day. I mean, the Aztecs were one of them the other night. That you caught them on their worst day of the year in their biggest game of the year. And it looked like, hey, have you guys ever played basketball before? Because you look like you're playing in a rec league, jacking up threes from in front of the logo and air balls and clanks and double dribbles.
It doesn't always mean 2 elite defenses were going at
correct,
it. Baseball, a 2-1 baseball game doesn't always mean, this is an amazing pitcher's duel. Sometimes it's just 2 turd offenses.
Yeah, nobody gets hit.
Right.
Yeah, and you scratched out a run on an error and a bunt single or something. I know it's true, but I felt a lot of joy from the kids last night, that was the best part.
All right. It is a Throwback Thursday, which is always fun. We will have some clips from our past shows. We'll set the menu coming up in our next segment about what we are planning to talk about today. It was an off day for the Padres yesterday, so not a lot of new developments, but we are only, I think, 5 days left in spring training now, including today, with a game against the Rangers tonight. So Mike Schilt, AJ Preller going to have to make some decisions pretty soon on their roster and, making those final choices of who's going to make it back to San Diego next week.
We play the Rangers tonight?
Rangers.
What are the chances that AJ Preller trades for an actual Ranger mid-game?
Always possible.
Like 70%.
Absolutely a possibility. And we're 1 week away from opening day. Next week, Padres taking on the Atlanta Braves. So we are getting very close to the start of baseball season. We'll get everything set up for you in our next
Texas
segment.
Rangers.
What's Skip doing, by the way?
I haven't talked to him forever.
Not in a while. All right. New member of the Texas Rangers organization.
They check in with him.
We have to check in, see how he's doing at some point.
The Texas Rangers.
Get an update on tonight's opponent for the San Diego Padres. Before we do anything else, though, Woods and I want to tell you about trust and will. It seems a little early in the morning to be discussing your final will and testament, but you know what?
Never too early.
It's never too late. It's never too early to get it out of the way.
It can be too late, though.
It can be too late. Absolutely. You really just want to take care of it so you don't have to think about it at any time of the day or, any time of the year. All you have to do is go to trustandwill.com. You fill out, just answer some simple questions about what you want your wishes to be. Should something happen to you, and in about 20, 25 minutes, you will be done. You will have legal documents that will be shipped to you, and then you can just stick them somewhere safe and hopefully not think about them for years and years and years, but you'll have them and the peace of mind that goes with it.
Yeah, man, make sure that you look into the trust as well. That keeps your family out of probate court. You do not want your family in probate court. It is lengthy, it is expensive, and can be it makes a really hard time even harder. So all you have to do, guys, go to trustandwill.com. Use the code FAN, F-A-N, when you check out. You'll get 20% off plus free shipping of your estate plan documents. Again, trustandwill.com. Use code FAN when you check out for a phenomenal discount. We need a catchphrase, Ben.
Like a Ben and Woods catchphrase?
Like, do the show, bitch. We kind of have one, but it's very crass.
That's true.
We were just talking off the air before Benjamin sets the menu about
Do the show, bitch.
Yeah, there you go. The Padres yesterday came out with their hype video. They're talking about it in our Ben and Woods YouTube chat. You can check that out on YouTube. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. But they're rolling it again with the For the Faithful hashtag, which I like. I like For the Faithful, but they've changed it. So I think I got in this mode where they changed it every year. And then when it came out yesterday, I went, oh, we're rolling with the For the Faithful again, which no problem. I like For the Faithful.
I don't know if it was, how long was it officially a team slogan, but like Keep the Faith has been around forever.
Forever, which is
like,
great.
I like consistency. Maybe they've just, over the last few years, they've been trying to find the one that sticks.
Throwing stuff at the wall and saying, take the cake.
And they liked For the Faithful.
Yeah.
Our team, our town. That was an old one from like
That's an
the
old
early
one?
2000s.
I think it's better to have one, at least not forever, but for an era maybe. For a few years.
For an era. I like
rather than change it every year.
Is it possible with Don Orsillo's new deal that he demanded they keep For the Faithful so he could do his ninth inning For the Faithful stand as one every night at Petco Park?
I mean, it's possible. Don will throw his weight around from time to time, as we know. I mean, the guy loves to throw his weight around, to be honest. So it could be that. I'm not mad. I'm not poking fun. I am just curious as to why you're going to run it back with the same one, because I think they've changed it every year that at least we've been on a show. I think if you guys have any insight, put it in the chat, please. Because if my memory, which is not great, tells me right.
I mean, I don't remember. What was 2018? What was 2019?
I don't remember. I remember Take the Cake.
That was 2020.
That was 20. Yeah. And then I feel like there's been a different one every year. For the Faithful, though, it jumped out at me yesterday because I went, oh, this was last year's. And I've been conditioned to think that they're Orthodox Heavens, For the Faithful Part 2. Bring the Gold. Remember? Bring the Gold was
That's right.
one.
Bring the Gold. Was that when they changed the uniforms?
I think
to brown and
so.
gold?
I think so. Keep those coming, guys, because I can't. Oh, that's a good one. Keep those coming. I want to do that one. Hot beef would be a good one
for Ben and Woods.
For the
hot beef.
Padres. Yeah. Hashtag hot beef.
Hot beef.
Don Orsillo says, I'm hot beef after every win.
Bring the Gold was 2023.
Yep. Take the Cake was 2020. Time to Shine was 2022.
Time to Shine.
That's a good one. That was like
tier ones have a better memory than we do.
Oh, come on. They were like.
See, this is already making me like
Pound town.
more happy that they're gonna stick with one.
Hashtag that's what's in. That was a big one. Yes.
That's what's in.
The fact that they're so forgettable though. And like we're like, wait, what year was that?
I know. So I like the idea now. Okay. So but here's the thing. Don't change it next year. If you're going to do it 2 years, I feel like you've got to stick with this. Hungry for more, Jeff says. That's right.
Now,
Hungry for more.
You win the World Series, you change it.
All right.
Like run it back or something like that. You know what I mean?
Hashtag repeat.
Last year was a solid season for the San Diego Padres. 93 wins, second most in franchise history. Made the playoffs. Obviously didn't end the way that we wanted it to, but maybe they're just hoping to, carry over the good vibes from last year with the same catchphrase.
Okay. I do like For the Faithful. I do like it. It is a little weird when Don at the end says, and For the Faithful stand as one. It should sound, I don't want to tell this man his business. He's the best in the business. And the Friar Faithful stand as one, which he used to say. And the Friar Faithful stand as one. That makes sense.
Yeah, but the slogan's not and the Friar Faithful.
He can work in the slogan by just changing it slightly.
And For the Faithful stand as one.
Grammatically, it doesn't work perfectly, but he gets that slogan in there.
Yeah, he definitely does. He definitely does. All right. Well,
is it possible that we're overthinking this? And they sat down for their annual meeting a month or two ago to come up with the hashtag for the season, and they look around the table and everyone goes, I'm fresh out. I've got nothing. I got no new ideas. Well, we could always just run back For the Faithful. And they go,
sounds good.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. Okay. For the Faithful.
I'm trying to think. Otherwise, like changing it every year, is that a
marketing,
merchandising
thing? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I mean, even the City Connects, they change every 4 years.
This is the last year of the
current City Connects.
Yeah, they announced that during the offseason as well.
I bet Mike Schultz is so bummed. So bummed.
Yeah.
Ben Fritz, all of our boys up there, like, whew, they'd never say it publicly, but privately.
Be careful what you wish for.
They're very.
It
could be different. It could be different. They're like, no, dude, y'all ain't got nothing in drab or something, olive drab. Come on. I mean, yeah, it's true. You never know.
Padres new City Connect colors: taupe and mauve.
You just never know, man. All right, so we're rolling with For the Faithful. You got the Ben and Woods hot beef stamp of approval. Done.
All right, here's what's coming up today on Ben and Woods. We will talk some Padres baseball coming up again as they return to action tonight with just 5 days left in spring training. The NCAA tournament tips off at 9:15 our time this morning, so make sure you get your brackets filled out last couple of hours to get any final predictions in for the NCAA tournament. We can go through the schedule. UCSD has their opener tonight against Michigan in Denver. We're looking at possible 12-5 upsets today in the NCAA tournament. We'll have our regular features like Don't Do This, Real or Fake on a Throwback Thursday. Paulie's got some real or fake throwback clips for us as well. A Rindle Report in our 9 o'clock hour, but I think I'm circling 7:35 this morning because the voting is now concluded. And Paulie is now the sole person who knows the championship matchup for our 6th annual Ben and Woods Tournament of Drops. We are down to the final 2, had the final 4 voting yesterday. Tier 1s have decided who are the last 2 drops remaining in the field.
Paulie is drunk with power over there. Absolutely drunk with power. Look at you. Look at him. He's the only one that knows. He won't tell
Price
us.
Waterhouse Cooper
That's
over
right.
there. He's
tracking it all day
all 3 of
yesterday.
them.
Were you?
I
God.
felt like Steve Kornacki on election night.
I said you can't share it with anybody.
Can't say a word.
Just all for your own edification. So we will reveal and set the matchups for you to vote. And then tomorrow, when we're at Dave & Buster's, we will crown our 6th annual Tournament of Drops champion. And hoping to see a lot of Tier 1s out there for day 2 of the basketball and broadcasting live all day down there in Mission Valley at Dave & Buster's. Should be a good one, but we'll start with the Padres. What's the focus of these last 5 days of spring training? What are the final decisions that need to be made by Mike Schilt and AJ Preller? We will get to that coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
All right, looking forward to this weekend. Yeah, we get a longer disclaimer there. This weekend would be a great time to head down to 7 Mile Casino because they've got the weekend brunch at Sammy's. I love that plan where you go Saturday or Sunday, 9 to 3, enjoy the award-winning brunch, best in the South County, and then stick around Woods for some great card playing action at 7 Mile.
Yeah, man, it's a great place to play. It is a great place to eat, great place to watch a game, have a beer, whatever you delight in, right? I like to play California style blackjack, but they got other games there. It's a smoke-free environment. Didn't really realize how important that was to me at this point in my life, but I did go to Vegas, and it was pretty awful. It was pretty awful.
You're very smell sensitive.
I kind of am, yeah.
This morning, and the cleaning product smell here bothers you. At an Airbnb, it bothered you, but it doesn't. 7 Mile Casino, it smells good when you walk in there.
Piece of cake, man, every single time. And I think you can actually get cake there as well. They got everything that you're looking for at 7 Mile Casino. Best part, just 7 minutes from downtown.
It is so easy to get to. The patio's fantastic. As the weather is going to be really nice this weekend. Stop by with your friends. Make it in. By the way, the high limit action is fantastic as well. Lots of different reasons. Easy to get to. 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown. This segment of Ben Woods brought to you by Frozen Ropes San Diego. Hey, parents, here's a message from Coach Kurt at Frozen Ropes. Is your child 6 to 12 years old? The Baseball Summer League is the perfect fit for your player. Starting June 16th through August 17th, Summer League includes 8 practices, 8 games. Register by March 31st and save $100. Go to SanDiegoFrozenRopes.com. All right, we get Sam Levitt will join us at 8:35 after his ski day in Flagstaff, Arizona yesterday.
Yeah, it looked nice, man. It looked like there was a lot of snow on the ground.
Powder looked good. Very pristine, beautiful mountains of Arizona, but he'll be back at work today.
I wonder if he's sore.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Are you going to be sore after your skiing this weekend?
Are good skiers, like people that regularly ski, still sore after a session?
It's a good question. I haven't skied in
I've never skied.
Never
Skied
in like 17 years or something. I have something tells me I'm going to be excruciatingly sore, if not in traction. One of the two.
That's a funny word.
Traction?
I think like, because I would snowboard, and even when I was like pretty good and going like consistently,
Still hurts.
it's a long day. Like you're still sore.
It's exhausting. It's an exhausting
It's just like,
experience.
did you fall a million times?
Right.
And, like you're bruised and
Yeah.
sore.
Yeah, it's it drains you. So I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it light. I just want to cruise.
I think the irony is that it looks like it shouldn't be.
right.
You sit in a chair, it takes you up automatically.
It's
and
not like
then
you have to walk
you
up the
just-
mountain.
and then just glide back on down. I mean, should be no more difficult than like going up an escalator and then riding down a slide. Right?
That's right.
Very simple. Why is it so very difficult?
The knees. I think of the
It
turn.
looks,
the
yes,
turning
it looks easy, but it's not.
Yeah.
Very hard.
I'm excited. I looked at the mountain. There is one trail that you start at the very top, and it's just nice and leisurely. Now, if I make one wrong turn, I turn into the very steep
Black
cliff,
diamond,
double
right.
black diamond
Double-
moguls, like to where then at that point I will take my skis off and slide down on my butt because there's just no way. There's no chance, man. But yeah, can't wait.
All right. So now what are we looking at for these last 5 days of spring training for the San Diego Padres? We've
Health.
talked a lot about the final roster decision.
I can't even talk about it anymore.
And I agree. I'm kind of over it.
Let me know who makes the squad, and then I'll bitch about it.
We've also talked about why most of them aren't even that important because, well, you can change your roster day 2.
Correct.
If, you want someone gets hurt, or you just decide, you know what, let's call this guy up. Literally, you can change your roster day 2. So who makes it on day 1 is more symbolic than anything else. You do have a couple of guys who don't have options, so you're going to have to potentially make a couple of moves or lose guys, on waivers, which is, a concern. You never want to lose someone that goes on and ends up having a great career that you just missed out on.
Like Brent Rooker.
First
the one
name that popped in both of our heads.
Sticks in your craw.
But that's going to happen.
Andres Munoz.
It's going to happen to any team.
Yeah.
To a few players, that you're just inevitably going to miss out on certain guys, and the Padres have taken advantage when other teams have missed out on their guys. We talked about Jeremiah Estrada yesterday. You feel like the lineup, is pretty set for Mike Schill, at least 1 through 6. I'd say having 1/3 of your lineup not set in stone at this point that's a little rough. I'd say that. I mean, more. I would say that 9 through 6 is probably set. I'd be surprised if anyone but Elias Diaz was your 9 hitter.
You mean, yeah? So you have 8 and 9 still kind of up in the air.
You have 7 and 8, probably up in the air.
Yeah. Diaz is your 9 hitter. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So you're really just trying to decide who goes in.
Who goes to left? Who DHs?
Couple of spots.
Yep.
Yeah. And we're starting to get clarity. I mean, according to the reporting we talked about last week, Jason Hayward's more than likely your at least early season starting option in left field, and Gavin Sheets will probably do some DHing early. But it will also rotate around with a bunch of people. But I think for the most part, you're going to see Luis Arraez leading off, Fernando Tatis Jr. batting second, Jackson Merrill hitting third, Manny Machado hitting fourth, and then Jake Cronenworth batting fifth, and Xander Bogaerts hitting sixth. That's what we've seen for the majority of the games in spring training when all the starters have played.
Yep.
Hasn't really mixed it up that much. Other than days when guys have been not there or off their feet, but when they've all been there, that has generally been the lineup order for Mike Schilt.
Well, and that's one of Schilte, I think, is a very firm believer in lineup continuity. He certainly was during the playoffs last year. And you don't want to tinker too much. You want guys to get comfortable in their spots, in their slots, where they're used to playing, where they're used to hitting. They know their jobs. They know exactly what's expected of them every single day. They know they're going to be in the lineup. I kind of like the consistency. I do have the fear that if I was a big league manager, or any of us were big league managers, I'd be a tinkering SOB. I mean, you look at numbers career wise. Luis Arraez, Ben, is probably a better 3-hole hitter than he is a leadoff hitter. You know what I mean? But how do you, in good faith, put a guy in the 3-hole in modern baseball that has no power whatsoever? And I know it's different. They say put your best hitter first, put your best hitter second. I like Tatis in the leadoff. I like Merrill in the 2. There's a million different iterations of this lineup that you could have. I don't know which one is going to work the best, and neither do they. So that's where they're going to try it. Probably the safe way, with Arraez at the top, Toddy in the 2, Merrill in the 3, left, right, all the way down.
I think there's one other decision that we haven't talked about as much that is probably getting at least some thought from Ruben Niebla and Mike Schilt. And we can get to that after a quick check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by local and veteran-owned Kearney Mesa Volkswagen. So far, folks are doing a pretty good job of staying out of trouble on our freeways. No incidents or accidents to mention, but I got to mention this water main break situation in Miramar. Eastbound lanes of Miramar Road remain closed between Camino, Santa Fe, and Commerce Avenue throughout the morning while they work on that. One westbound lane is closed as well, so if you normally pass that area, leave extra time for travel. San Diego, it's game time at Kearney Mesa Volkswagen, your local and veteran-owned dealership, now teamed up with Sedano Auto Group, dropping slam dunk savings. Drive the 2025 Volkswagen Jetta S, just $274 a month. Visit KearneyMesaVolkswagen.com for more details. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Right, one area of definition that I'm sure the Padres are thinking about is how they're going to set up Robert Suarez in the 8th inning. Because you have multiple candidates there, and clearly matchups will dictate some of it when you've got lefty and righty options. But in terms of in your opinion, Woods, when you've got Jason Adam, Jeremiah Estrada, and Adrian Morejon, I think all 3 of those guys are legitimate setup type relievers. Do you have a ranking, a priority in terms of which guy you trust the most? Like, you've got a 1-run lead, you're feeling good about this game, and you've got everyone rested and ready to go. Bottom of the order's coming up in the 8th. Who are you going with? Who's your 8th inning guy? Who are you saving for the 8th inning?
Probably Jason Adam. He's probably, there's a lot to love about Jeremiah Estrada. There's a lot to love about the way that Adrian Morejon pitched last night. And again, it's matchup dependent. But I like Jason Adam as a setup, man. When he's on, he's one of the nastiest guys that we have, period, the end. I think he could close for this team. Really, I think any of those guys you named other than Morejon could probably be your closer. I think Estrada could close. I think Jason Adam could close. And I know Suarez can close. So, like Ray says, I don't think there's a wrong answer there at all. I do think it's matchup based, early in the season. But if you do find slots for guys, that's Ruben said it takes about a month to figure out where everyone's kind of best suited. Maybe did he say 1 month or 2 months?
I think he said 2.
I think he said 2 months.
2 months.
It takes about 8 weeks, I think he said.
Yeah. And I do think the Padres are so deep in lefties. There's been years where the bullpen hasn't even had a lefty, or they've had one lefty that they have to save for the absolute, we need to get a left-hander out matchups. But it's looking like, at least going into this season, they'll have Adrian Morejon, they'll have Yuki Matsui, and they will have Wandy Peralta, probably all likely at least starting the season in the bullpen, plus any other depth options that they can bring up. But to have 3 lefties is a pretty nice luxury for a manager and a pitching coach, because you can go to the matchups earlier in the game without feeling like you're going to get stuck without the matchup, in the 8th inning or 10th inning even. The Padres will be well set up. the game goes extra innings because they won't be able to use all those setup guys, and you'll still have someone generally in reserve for, potential extra innings. I do like how the Padres bullpen has been shaping up this spring.
Yeah, and just you asked what we're looking for this next week. It's health. I mean, really, it's just get through this thing as unscathed as you can. You've lost Sean Reynolds. We don't know when he's due to return. The Yu Darvish news, inflammation in his elbow. You just hope that dissipates and that he's able to pitch, in the first month of the season. If not, it's a whole new set of problems that you're going to have to figure out. Listen, get through this next week unscathed. We're going to eat the soup that you give us as it pertains to the roster because we really don't have a choice, and we'll figure it out then. My biggest fear, and we discussed it yesterday, Ben, my biggest fear is, like you mentioned, losing somebody that goes on to get picked up by somebody else that has a monster year. When in fact, you're like, well, it's one thing if a guy has a crap spring, gets released, catches on somewhere else, and goes out and dominates, right? But when you have guys having really good springs and have made changes to their game, like Sheets and Gonzalez and guys like that, then you let them go for a 40-year-old. That's when you're like, bro, what are we doing? It's not like you didn't see this happening.
I think, of course, you want Yu Darvish healthy and available as soon as possible. But let me give you at least the glass half full side of the equation. If Yu does miss, 2 or 3 starts at the beginning of the year, it's not the worst thing.
Yeah. And what if it's 12? What if it's 15? You know what I mean? What if he misses 12 starts?
Oh, again, you want him healthier sooner rather than later. All I'm saying is if he is out a couple of starts, you have off days every week for the first 3 weeks of the season. And I wouldn't mind seeing Stephen Kolek and or Kyle Hart and what they can actually do on the big league level. Because at some point you're going to need those guys.
No doubt.
And you'll get an early read on, what they really can do against major league lineups in game situations. You never totally can see that in spring training. And you will get an idea if 2 of those guys are in the rotation, or, maybe Randy Vasquez is the other guy to start the year. At least you'll start getting your, kind of in your mind, okay, who's our 6, who's our 7, who's our 8, and you'll have a better idea of that as the season goes on. And those guys will get some valuable experience as starters early in the year as well, for when, again, you will need them. Need them as the summer goes on. Inevitably, you will need those guys, and they won't be coming in having not pitched in a big league game since, in July, because they hadn't had the opportunity. They'll know, okay, I got a couple starts under my belt. Here we go. We may go back to AAA a little bit, but we'll be ready when they need to call us up again.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're the 7th man up right now, you're going to get work at the big league level this year. You just know it. That's how teams operate. What did the Dodgers use last year, starting pitching wise? I mean, some ungodly amount of number, 14, 15,
something like that.
Yeah, and I think they set a record. But look what it got them. Now they had a really deep type of squad, and they needed it because they had a ton of injuries, and that's what we really can't afford anymore. Is what I'm saying at this point. You really can't afford Nick Pivetta to get hurt. You can't afford Dylan Cease, Michael King. I mean, those guys, the top 3, the pressure is now on them more than it was, because being a 3 is different than being a 4. Yu Darvish coming back to this team healthy and pitching well this year, you have to have it. And if not, you got to figure out how to get somebody else in here. You have to.
Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it yet. I mean, you'd pitch during spring training. Looked pretty good when he was out there.
Yep.
Yes, he's dealing with some fatigue and some inflammation, but until I hear truly bad news, I'm going to assume that Yu Darvish is going to be.
You know what happens when you assume
similar? Well, I mean, last season, how many starts did you make last year?
I don't know, but it was
he missed a lot.
Yeah, but he had the personal.
But he also had 2 injury stints as well. I mean, and he still had a good season. You don't need you to make 31. Starts.
No, I wouldn't expect that.
You want him out there, but I'm not expecting. He doesn't have to be your innings eater. That's Dylan Cease.
Yep,
he's the guy that you're counting on. Nick Pivetta should be a guy like that's going to give you plenty of length and depth. Yu Darvish's
girth.
Yu Darvish is there for. Bring the heat when we really need you.
All right.
To bring the heat.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
All right, let's take time out. We'll come back. We probably should have listened to the odds makers when the line for San Diego State kept going the wrong way.
Yes.
What do the odds makers say about today's games and which one they think is going to be the best of the match of the day? Get to that coming up next on Ben and Woods. T-minus 2 hours, 15 minutes until tip-off of the NCAA tournament. First game of the day, 9:15 a.m., and it probably a pretty good game. It's a 9-seed Creighton against 8-seed Louisville in Lexington, Kentucky. And it is actually tied for the smallest point spread of the day. Louisville's favored by 2.5 points over Creighton in that game. Do you remember who you picked in your bracket?
I have no idea. I have 3 brackets. They're all on different platforms. So one's on Yahoo, one's on CBS, and
you
then
can't even do the import bracket because it's on a totally different platform.
It's on
thing.
3. I have 3 brackets.
How do you do your brackets? Do you generally just pick all the same ones so you kind of know who you're cheering for, or do you like to mix it up?
So I did.
If one of them's bad, maybe the other one will be good.
So I actually did this year. Because Scraby puts one out that's no money. It's just for fun. So I did one pretty straight up. And then we have a pal that puts one out every year on CBS Sportsline. So I did that one pretty straight up. And then the last one I did, I can't even remember what platform. I have no idea where it is. I'm assuming I'll get it. Maybe ESPN. I'll get an email letting me know. I can't remember who set it up. No idea. That one I went a little wonky. I picked some upsets, and I like the little I button next to it. You get the information. You're like, oh, this is a good 3-point shooting team. All right, I'll roll with them. You know what I mean? So 1, I got a little wonky. 2, I picked kind of with the grain.
There are strategies. I mean, there's still time to get your brackets in.
Yeah.
If your office pool, if you got one or whatever, and you haven't done it, you kind of got to look at the size of the pool. If it's a smaller pool, that's when you have to kind of go wonky and try to differentiate
exactly.
yourself. Whereas if you have the bigger pool, everyone else is going to try to outthink everybody.
Right.
And sometimes going chalky, it actually helps you out.
Oh, absolutely. The worst mistake you can make is pick any 14, 15, or 16 seed. Even if you're right and you pull off the shocker of the world, you had the 16 seed over the 1. Those first round wins are worth a point usually.
Right.
And they're not going to make a deep run into the tournament. But if you're wrong on those, and the 1 seed or the 2 seed goes on, like most people expect, to the Elite 8 or the Final 4, you've just lost not just the 1 point, but the 2 in the next round, the 4 in the next round, the 8 in the next round.
Yeah.
You have completely torched your bracket by trying to pick a cool upset in the first round.
Everybody gets so obsessed with picking that 15 over the 2 or the 12 over the 5 in the first round. But if you have your Final 4 intact by the Sweet 16, you're probably going to win your bracket.
Yeah, you're probably. You
got to be focusing on the Elite 8 and Final 4 and keeping those teams in.
Let's put it this way: I did 3 brackets. I did them all on Monday morning when I got here at like 3:00 in the morning, or Tuesday, and it took me 10 minutes to do all 3. So I don't overthink my brackets ever. I never really win the brackets, but I do have fun doing them. It was funny because people on the YouTube feed, and somebody tweeted this morning, Woodsy's in a polo today, and Paulie's got his Callaway golf hat on. Now, we're playing golf after the program today, after the show. And we had somebody had bid on us for a charity auction. They wanted to play golf with Ben and Woods. We did it for our friend John Ashworth at the GOAT. And it got rained out. It got rained out a few weeks ago, so we had to reschedule it. Well, we put the rescheduling in the hands of one logistical king, Benjamin R. Higgins, a.k.a. Basketball Ben. Basketball Ben picked this date of all dates to go play golf. So we're going to miss most of the big day. How do you feel about that?
I'm going to be streaming the games on my phone and
during
during golf.
Okay.
It wasn't my best logistical.
My shock was I still, to this moment, don't believe I was ever told about the makeup day. And Woods goes, I remember him telling me it was on my calendar. I'm like, bro, I don't drop very many balls, and this was not on my radar whatsoever.
I feel bad because you both seemed caught off guard.
Well, I had to cancel my trainer, so it's not the worst thing.
I had to cancel therapy.
Probably had to cancel.
And it was within 24 hours, so I'm out $150.
So
we're raising like a few $1,000s for a good cause. So.
If anything happens to Paulie, it's your fault because he missed therapy. Correct. If anything happens to him, this is on you. It's the burden you're going to have to.
Well, why don't we just do it on the air for Paulie
therapy
today? Yeah,
all right.
Therapy
live.
We'll schedule it for later in the show today, and we'll do Paulie's therapy on the air so he doesn't miss it for our charity golf later.
Who will be the
And let me
therapist?
tell you about the time my dad.
Who's the therapist? Me or you or both?
I think we could kind of be co-therapists.
Tag teaming?
Yeah.
All right, we'll tag team you.
You have
later.
more experience than I do with
I
therapy.
do, but you're more calm,
That's true.
more level-headed.
I have the demeanor of a therapist.
That's true. I do not have the demeanor.
Ben would be the worst therapist
Yeah, you
in
know
the
why?
history of humankind.
Because he'd be like, yep, sure. Okay. Sure. Right. On
Are
his
you
phone.
sure? I can
He's on his phone.
I can definitely sit here and just kind of go, interesting.
No, I think you'd be so logical that it would be offensive.
Yeah,
You'd be like, who cares if your dad told you that when you were a kid?
Get
Like,
over it.
There's plenty of other people out there.
Why do you feel that I would be a bad therapist, Paul?
I just told you why. Why weren't you listening?
too logical.
Because you're the worst therapist.
Yes, you have to be a good listener to be an active listener. You'd fall asleep also in many sessions.
It's kind of quiet.
It's very quiet.
Someone else is lying down. I feel like I'd want to
Probably
be able
a
to lie
comfortable
down.
You don't
chair.
actually lie down.
You don't?
No,
You don't lie down on the couch?
no, only in the movies.
Oh.
Nobody lies
Like I
down.
said,
On
Has
your
anyone?
back.
Has anyone ever lied?
I've been to 1,000 there. It was never
is there
once.
at least
have
a comfortable chair, or are
Yeah.
you like in a wooden?
I'm like on a couch.
You're on a couch. I'm on a couch.
You are on a couch.
Yeah.
but you don't lie down. On
No, you don't lie down. I would fall dead asleep.
I
So
definitely
good.
would.
Yeah, so we'll be playing some golf today, which I'm excited about. It's been a while. It's going to be terrible. I feel bad
It's
for the
the
guys.
go,
That,
on a Thursday. Should be a pretty quick round, I would think. It gets us back
he
from
says
most
this
of
every
Every
time we play.
most of the games.
and it's a 5-hour round. All right, here's the thing. I was thinking.
So and there's no
It's
game,
March Madness.
There's no games scheduled. There's only like 1 or 2 games in the 1 o'clock window anyway, and then they don't start again until 4. So there's really only 2 games on while we're playing.
March Madness, you would think, oh man, it's going to keep a lot of guys away from the course. But then there are guys that are like, I don't really care about March Madness, and there's not going to be a lot of people, so I'm going to go play golf. I feel like it's going to be packed. Do you?
I don't. I really don't.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take your word
I
for it.
think we'll be okay today.
Okay.
So yeah, first game's at 9:15 this morning, and then the upset possibilities today. If you're looking, they are fun. I mean, again, it may not be the best strategy for your bracket, but that's what makes the tournament so compelling. Are these early round upsets? High Point has been a team that a lot of people have been talked about as
Just
a
learned about
13
them.
seed taking on Purdue. That's the second game this morning at 9:40. McNeese taking on Clemson.
Right?
McNeese
McNeese.
taking on Clemson at 12:15, a 12-5 matchup. VCU is an 11 seed that some people think could make a run in the tournament. They take on BYU. That's another 2.5 point spread. And then the other closest spread of the day, 12th seed UC San Diego, just a 2.5 point underdogs against 5th seeded Michigan.
Here we go.
That's the second to last tip off tonight at 7 o'clock at Ball Arena in Denver as the UCSD Tritons make their NCAA tournament debut tonight.
What time again?
7 o'clock.
Okay.
Long after we're back from golf.
Oh, yeah.
So
Maybe.
I won't be missing that one for sure. You've also got Utah State against UCLA. That's a 10-7 matchup this evening. Drake is a team that I think won like 30 games this year, and mostly Division II transfers, kind of like the UCSD Tritons. They're taking on Missouri in an 11-6 matchup this afternoon at 4:35. Yale at number 13. Remember, they pulled off an upset last year, then lost to San Diego State in the second round. They're playing Texas A&M. So those are some of your first day matchups in the NCAA tournament. But I'll be pulling for the Tritons tonight. The Aztecs are out, so I'm all in now for UCSD the rest of the way. And at least the odds makers are giving them more of a chance than they even gave San Diego State against North Carolina. That was an 11-11 game, and San Diego State was a bigger underdog than 12th seeded UCSD is against 5th seeded Michigan.
They knew something, man. They really knew something about that Aztecs game. It panicked us the way that line shot up the entire day. It is nice when you're me and you have attended several colleges. You always have a team in the tournament. And the Texas Tech Red Raiders, Ben, number 3 seed, taking on number 14 Wilmington. I do have a rooting favorite in that. Our buddy Darren Smith went to St. John's. He's a Johnny. They're playing a big game tonight. They're a good team. But yeah, man, a whole slate of action for you.
It's my favorite weekend of the year.
It's great.
Because the 16 today, the 16 games tomorrow, and then you got 8 more Saturday, 8 more
so
Sunday.
Good.
But it's the drama. It is the chaos, the madness, or whatever.
Hence the term March Madness.
Where did they come up with?
Where did they come up with
It's
that?
just like A 15 could beat a 2. A 14 probably will beat a 3. A 12 will beat a 5.
Yep.
But like, if those teams played each other 100 times, the favorite they're so much better.
Yeah, they'll win 98
and they would
times
win
or
like
something.
98.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, that one game in the tournament, it's just chaos.
Well, I think you hit on it. It's the volume. Because you have so many games, 32 games.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, 28 favorites may end up winning, but we'll remember the 4 that didn't. And so it's the volume that turns just almost, unexpected upsets into mandatory. They are definitely going to happen just because you're playing so many games. And it turns around really quickly because by next week, Thursday, they'll have 4 games, and Friday they'll have 4 games, and then Saturday there's 2, and Sunday there's 2. There's nothing like the first 4 days. It's only this weekend that I think is really the compelling feast of basketball. You don't really get any feasts of sports like this.
Yeah, what did we call it last year? The sporgy. It's like a sports orgy. I mean, it is truly insane when you get. And then when does it wrap up?
The whole tournament.
The whole tourney.
So
2.5
next week and then 2 more weeks.
You got baseball.
Saturday,
you got the
Monday.
tourney.
This is my favorite time, not just this weekend.
This
but
is
like
where it gets nasty.
This week to 2 week span of the calendar. I know everybody loves October because you got football and playoff baseball, but I love the start of the baseball season. And then you have
baseball season's moved up so much. I remember many days where the Padres opener was on the same day as the championship Monday. Now the Padres opener is the same day as the Sweet 16 Thursday next week. It's moved up 4 rounds, the baseball opening day, earlier into the tournament than it used to be.
Betting on March Madness is one of the more excruciating things you can do. I go easy. I don't go nuts on this. I do a parlay. That's about it.
You already have your bracket.
Got my bracket. That's kind of a bet.
You bet on spring training baseball. You're good.
I think I was 3-1 betting in spring training baseball. Thank you very much. It's a good percentage. What are you looking at over there?
Don't Do This is coming up next. That's what I'm looking at.
I got a great do this. How about the great Jeff Passan just absolutely dropping the hammer yesterday?
I was wondering if you were going to talk about
absolutely.
that.
I'll talk about
yesterday.
it.
All right, we
Jeff
can throw that.
Well, I wanted to see what happened. I wanted to see what happened with the entire Jackie
I spent
Robinson
most of yesterday
thing.
still trying to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, Jeff Passan really. I think he really did a nice service for the country yesterday. I really do.
All right, we will get to Don't Do This coming up next after a check of traffic. Don't go away. It's Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, let me tell you about sdfatloss.com. As the summer approaches, the weather gets nicer, and you can see it outside this week. It's going to be in the 80s next week. I saw some nice weather forecasts in San Diego. The first thing you can do for yourself is drop a few pounds, shed some weight before the summer, before shorts and bathing suit season arrives. You can lose up to 1 pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight by following the simple proprietary strategies they've developed at sdfatloss.com. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to set up a free consultation. They'll explain the program to you. And if you start, you'll get a counselor, and you'll get an app. You'll get everything you need for success to lose weight fast. They will coach you. They will support you. If it's not working, they will figure out why, and they will get you on track. And by the way, in that 2 months when I lost my weight, I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. Had a couple of cheats, did not succeed every single day. Yet in the end, I got to where I wanted to be, and that was a healthier me. I feel so much better. Less back pain. I'm sleeping better, more energy. So many great benefits, health benefits from losing the weight. And this is a great way to do it with real food. No shakes or bars or mixes, no injections, no exercise necessary. Just sign up today and take advantage of their spring special by getting $200 off. Again, get your free consultation at sdfatloss.com. That's sdfatloss.com. Results may vary. All right, Don't Do This is brought to you by Trust and Will. Don't leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die. Do set up a trust or will online at trustandwill.com. It's a lot more affordable than you think. This is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. This is a pretty horrifying story that I read yesterday. It has from the world of college baseball up in the Los Angeles Simi Valley area, where a 21-year-old college baseball player for the Masters College was in a bar in Santa Clarita, a dive bar called Doc's Inn.
Okay.
And one of the regulars at the bar, an 84-year-old man, got into some sort of verbal agreement. They have some video
agreement,
verbal confrontation. They have video footage of what was going on at the bar, and
so they're sitting there, they're having some beers.
Yeah,
they
and
get
then
an argument about
then
something.
Someone gets into an argument with this 84-year-old guy, and then another man steps in. Then the video cuts to a third man, allegedly the college baseball player Owen Hayes from the Masters College, and Owen Hayes just decks him. Just the 21-year-old just decks this 84-year-old, knocking him, rushing him from behind, and knocking him to the floor, knocking him unconscious. He had, of course, to be sent to the hospital. Fortunately, he wasn't seriously injured, but the employee says, the victim was a regular at the bar. The incident was an unprovoked assault. Cops were able to identify Hayes, who surrendered to authorities on Monday at the sheriff's station in Santa Clarita. He's booked on charge of felony assault, held on $50,000 bail. The university has not commented on the situation, but he's on video
punching this guy.
Yeah, just kind of cold cocking him from behind.
I don't know, man. I think
he wasn't the guy that was even arguing with him at the start. Maybe it was his friend or something. I have no idea, but
I mean, is it fair play? Like,
no. What do you mean fair play?
Like, guy runs his mouth and calls you a name or something.
If you're 84, you get to do that.
Do you?
At that point.
So when you turn 84, you have free will to do and say whatever you want.
I mean, you can't commit crimes, but you can.
I'm old. I didn't know what I was doing.
You absolutely have some latitude to all of a sudden no longer be you don't have to operate by the same rules of the niceties that the rest of us have to operate by.
I guess that's fair. I mean,
plus, if you're a regular at a bar, you're always going to get the benefit of the doubt from the staff over some college kid who's just
some 21-year-old.
If you don't know that, the college kid, he never had a chance. If that guy's a regular in there, bars take care of their regulars, patrons, staff, and if you're an 84-year-old regular, your guy from Joshua Tree, I'm sure they take good care of him.
I think they do. I hope he's still around.
He's more like 184.
He's 184 years old. He was in the Civil War. I told you he dated Susan B. Anthony. They were a hot ticket item back in the day. I mean, it's not even, I guess it's not even one of those situations where you say, well, what did he say? What did he do? I guess you can't punch an 84-year-old in the face. Would you let an 84-year-old punch you in the face?
Let him? No. Yeah. I'd try to dodge.
Now, if he hit you, would you strike him back?
I don't think so.
What's your cutoff, age-wise, for where you would strike someone back?
Maybe 70.
You'd punch a 70-year-old.
No, I said that's the cutoff. The 69-year-old, I might. There's some healthy older gentlemen.
100%. All right. Let's just go right to do this. I thought this was fascinating.
DD mega doo-doo.
Jeff Basson, friend of the program, saw this the other day, and I honestly, when I saw it, I couldn't believe it. It popped up, and look, I know things are a little divisive these days in this country, and always. I mean, it's really never changed, but I saw this, and I was kind of taken aback when I saw Jeff Basson tweeted a couple days ago. This used to be the URL for a story on the Department of Defense website about Jackie Robinson's time in the Army. The story has been removed. The ghouls who did this should be ashamed. Jackie Robinson was the embodiment of an American hero. Fix this now. And it went on. And he made, I would say, a fairly big, I don't want to use the word stink about it, but he made like a big deal out of it. He said, he's also a reporter. So when he saw that, he went and started firing off emails and making phone calls. So when asked about the reason for the removal of the story on the website on Jackie Robinson's military service, Pentagon Press Secretary John Ulyat said the following in a statement to ESPN. As Secretary Hegseth has said, DEI is dead, and the Defense Department discriminatory equity ideology is a form of woke cultural Marxism that has no place in our military. Basically trying to take that. I read that as, hey, we appreciate his service. It doesn't matter that he was a black man fighting for our country who also happened to break the color barrier in baseball. They completely whitewashed that story from the website, which I thought at least we could everyone here could agree. Jackie Robinson, yes,
Good guy.
good for baseball, served his country as well. Jeff actually,
I guess I don't understand the root of all of this. You can't just erase something. It happened. It was a thing.
Yeah, and so he actually wrote a really long piece on it that's good. But the good news is, is that the story on Jackie Robinson has been restored to its original URL. No longer does it redirect to the one with the letters DEI in it. It is such a part of our history. Jackie Robinson is such a hero, man, such a hero for so many reasons. And I thought good on Jeff Passan, man, he was the first I saw that brought it to light, and he just went in and dropped hammer on him, and he got it put back on. I thought it was great.
I'm going to try not to get us in trouble. We stay away from generally the hot button political issues. This doesn't seem to serve anybody well. We're trying to be inclusive with everybody. But let me ask the question. Whatever happened to nuance in public discourse?
Oh, it's gone.
It's just gone.
Yeah,
does it make me a horrible person if I say someone who's not qualified for a job should never be hired for that job based on the color of their skin? You shouldn't get the job
right.
if you're not qualified to do it. In that sense, I agree politically with one side, but I also understand that diversity is not just a good thing, but it's essential. That if your company only has one viewpoint and you only hire a certain type of person, whatever the color of their skin, or you only hire men, or you only hire women, or you only hire young people or old people, you are missing out on the beauty of life. Diversity is hugely important.
I mean, and again, you're talking about
this backlash against diversity. To me, is insane.
You're talking about
who just rail against DEI, thinking, we should never talk about diversity at all. You're missing the boat hugely on what makes life great and important, and celebrating our differences is it's an amazing thing. Now, should you hire someone simply because, hey,
we have to fill
a quota, and this person just gets the job over you, even though you've worked 20 years and you absolutely deserve the promotion? No, of course not. I don't think that. So is there not a middle ground anymore for any of these discussions at all?
There is no middle ground anymore. But I think there's always things I look at and go, I thought even with all of our differences, we could agree that this was a good thing. Can't we all agree on this?
I'd like to think so.
I'd like to think so too. And
I saw someone say I was just an AI program that was trying to wipe out whatever they call DEI, took that off, and they go, of course, if someone was looking at it, they wouldn't have taken that off. But
they did.
Big old broad brush that we're painting with, because there's no more nuance and actually looking at things for what they really are.
Well, I want to commend Jeff Passan for the work that he did getting that done, and really staying on those guys to make sure that, hey, let's say it was an oversight. Let's say it was an error. Fix it. And they did. And so good on Jeff Passan.
Absolutely good on Jeff Passan, because you know what? Jeff Passan risks something.
100%.
He risks some of his audience getting mad at him for doing that, and he took a stand anyway. And I respect the heck out of Jeff Passan for doing that.
Me too.
That's don't and do this for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, I know we've all been waiting for this moment. I have. When we come back, Paulie will reveal the results of our final four voting for the 6th annual Ben and Woods Tournament of Drops, and we will set the matchup for the championship. The last two drops left in the field. It's been less than a week, and here we are, ready to go for the championship already.
Moves a lot faster than the real tournament.
It does. Yeah, it does. That hasn't even started yet.
I like
We're
that.
almost done.
I know.
That is coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, if you're a homeowner, listen up, my friends. What could you do with an extra $75,000 in your pocket right now, or even an extra couple $100,000? Look, a lot of people have gotten a little bit underwater. I could totally relate. I've been there before. Loan Pronto, the leader in quickly converting your home's equity into cold hard cash. That's your equity. You've earned it. Use it. You can pay off all your credit cards, pay off your cars, start the home remodel project, improve your home. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Average homeowner right now has over $300,000 in equity. That is your money. Get it out and use it at will. Whatever you need it for, you can use it. You can get approved in as little as a day. Act now with no hard credit pull up front. 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. Get the money you need for anything. 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
into Scraby's bracket, but it's not letting me in.
Even I figured out.
I know you're in. I see Woodsy. There you are. There's your bracket, but I keep hitting join group, and it just keeps kicking me back out for some reason.
You're very unliked at this radio station. Maybe it was on purpose.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Maybe there was like an
You got
exclusion. I've been locked out of the group.
Imagine blocking Ben from your bracket.
You wouldn't want to. I never do well in brackets.
I don't either. I never have.
Basketball Ben would be great at college basketball brackets. I watch more college basketball than probably
anybody
most
on this
of the people
station.
on this station.
Yeah.
And I never do well in the brackets.
Never have.
I can't remember the last time I even came down to like the last weekend and still felt like I was alive in any of my brackets.
I think Bo did better than I did last year. I forgot to get him to do one this year because we have bigger fish to fry. But I never do well either. It's luck, man. It's not skill. It's luck.
But you like to gamble. I mean, essentially, it's picking games.
Yeah,
is that luck or skill?
Well, this tournament is different than Tyler Glass now facing the third, fourth starter for the Rockies in Dodger Stadium. Like that one, you feel all right. I kind of have a handle on this at least through the first 5. Now, does it always go your way? No, but I did really well on baseball last year. But this one. Literally anything can happen in this stupid thing. It's crazy. That's why the playoffs the playoffs in baseball are really hard to handicap. They really, really are. You'll have Tarek Skubal go out. You'll have a lead with the Guardians, and Emmanuel Clase comes in and he blows it 3 straight days. And you're like, what? I had these games in the bag. It's so random. And that's what this is. It's just really, really random.
And there's certainly like strategies. Hey, I'm going to go with favorites. I'm going to go with blue bloods. I'm going to go with experienced teams. I'm going to go with teams that don't have to travel very far.
Right. You really
there's a million
overthink
theories, but none of them ever hold up like from year to year to year because every year it seems different. One year, tons of upsets. One year, really chalky. It can just change from year to year. There's no commonality other than don't pick 16, 15, 14 seeds to go deep into the tournament.
Never forget, forever, it was always like you never go all 4 number 1 seeds to the final 4.
Right.
It never happened.
It never happened.
But then it did.
And then it did. And that was the year I was in high school and a bunch of my friends, we all put together a little bracket challenge. And my mom, she goes, hey, I'd like to fill one out. I'm like, go for it. Here you go. She filled it out. Just picking mascots or whatever. If she heard of a team, she was picking them, but she ended up with all 4 teams in the number 1 seeds in the final 4. Guess what happened that year?
Yeah, they all
she smoked everybody in the bracket challenge because she had all 4 number 1 seeds.
Now, the women's bracket, and there's a lot more, obviously, attention has been paid recently. Women's basketball has become more popular. That is clear. Did you know that in the history of the women's NCAA tournament, since they expanded to, the full 64, 68, whatever they are now, only one upset has ever taken place of a 14, 15, or a 16.
Wow.
368 and 1 are the 1, 2, and 3 seeds in that tournament.
So bet the favorites.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for the tip.
I think it was 1998. Harvard 16 seed beat Stanford.
Wow.
One of the unbelievable upsets in sports history. Every other top 3 seed has never lost in the history of that women's tournament.
That's amazing.
Doesn't bode great for San Diego State. They're the 14 seed, I believe, against LSU, the 3 seed. On Saturday in the first round, and they are underdogs by like 22 or some sort of large amount because bettors know the top 3 seeds never lose.
So in the women's tournament, the first 4, the 2 first 4 games were last night, and then there's 2 more today.
Correct. UCSD, the women lost in their first 4 16 versus 16 matchup against Southern last night at Pauley Pavilion in Los Angeles.
Guess who's in it? The women's, the other play-ins. High Point.
High Point.
What a monster year for High Point.
UCSD and High Point. Yeah. Big years for both of those schools.
Men's and women's tournaments.
Yeah, the first 4 did not treat our local teams well with the Aztecs and Tritons, men and women both falling in their first 4 games. So UCSD women are out.
My God.
UCSD men today, SDSU women on Saturday.
Adio says South Carolina women are favored by 42.5 against a team that went 26-5. 42.5.
There's a bigger gap between the
Yeah, I'd say so.
the top of women's college basketball and the rest of college basketball. There's a
Holy
big gap in men's, but
smokes.
it's not as large.
42.5 points in a tournament game. Oh my God. All right, I gotta look at that one. Hey, we're gonna start this game. We're up 42.5 to nothing. Can we hold them off?
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude. Who is it? I gotta find out. I gotta take the points. I gotta get in on this. This is insane. This feels like a lock.
No, it's not. I promise you, it's
We
not.
could win by 60.
There will be 50-point games in the tournament on the women's side. No doubt about it.
All right. Interesting.
All right, Paulie, it is time to get to the results. Let's get some music in.
Tennessee Tech.
Tennessee Tech
26-5. They're a 16 seed. That is crazy.
All right. I'm gonna bet the South Carolina to cover 42.5.
Oh, now you're going the other way.
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna sweat that out.
It's tomorrow.
All right, I'll bet it
Well, you
tomorrow.
figure if they just win every quarter by 11,
Yeah.
you're good.
Yeah, piece of cake.
It's not that hard.
No.
You can win by 11 and a
No.
quarter.
That was amazing.
All right, Paulie, let's get to the music. It is time to reveal the final two drops left in our 6th annual Ben & Woods Tournament of Drops.
So nervous.
All right, let's go back to the brackets.
Yeah, voting has closed.
Hard copy right here.
We've
My heart is racing right now.
We had two pretty close races yesterday.
All right, left side of the bracket, the Bo Woods region champion against the Juan Soto region champion. Refresh our matchup.
We will start with the Bow region.
You got a problem.
That was the number 1 overall seed, and it was going up. This was the Soto region down below.
Yes.
And it was going up against the 3 seed, Adam's big mistake that going to haunt us forever.
The Padres have slayed the dragon again.
I had my favorite. I wasn't sure how the vote was going to go, but with 58.8% of the vote, so just under 60-40, your winner, moving on to the championship round, is
Oh no.
You got a problem.
the number 1 seed.
Yes.
I think there's some people out there that are surprised that you're pulling for that drop so hard given the origin of it.
Oh, and my history with said person.
But I think it's an amazing drop.
It's incredible. I'm able to look past petty personal differences and appreciate a really great drop.
Once the drop exists, I think it becomes separated
I
really
agree.
from the person
Oh yeah,
or the context of the drop.
yeah, 100%.
It lives on its own.
And again, Hawk Tua lost in the first round.
Yeah, Hawk 2 was a first round long.
So I don't know if people were still connecting the drop to the person, maybe.
Maybe, but I think they just got tired of Hawk 2. We played it a lot.
Who gets tired of that?
I'm not in the real world, but maybe the girl herself.
All right, so that's the left side of the bracket. Now, the final 4 matchup in the right side of the bracket, we have the Kelly Danick region champion, Ganja, a.k.a. Cannabis, going up against the Don Orsillo region champion, Merrill Madness, that took down Hot Beef
Yeah.
in the Elite 8.
Orsillo beat Hot Beef. Ben has never won a tournament of drops. Is this going to be his year?
Even though by far I've had the most quantity of drops in every
Yeah.
field.
You're like the worst closer of all time.
But never get it done.
Never
in the
get it
end.
done.
and that's a strong drop.
I've already resigned myself to the fact that Don is unbeatable in
Don
this competition.
won it
So,
before.
Yeah.
lay it on us.
The
Who-
Padres, drops,
connection, yeah.
they always do well.
They do. Even the terrible ones.
And with a score of a final vote of 55.3%
Pretty close.
to 44.7, your winner, moving on to face You Got a Problem in the championship round, is
Merrill Madness. Ganja, a.k.a. Cannabis.
Yes.
So
Yes.
your championship matchup, and voting is open now, posting very shortly. You will have
You got a problem.
going up against
Ganja, a.k.a. Cannabis.
You have a problem because you smoke too much ganja.
That is a problem.
Cannabis.
we got to
Oh.
figure out. We will crown a champion at some point,
not
probably
over
right around
yet.
now, 24 hours from now, at Dave and Buster's. We will crown our champion. We got to figure out something to do.
I mean, if
Who
it's
am I cheering for here?
yeah, who are you cheering for?
I'm cheering for
You.
Me.
Yeah, of course.
You got a problem. You got a problem. You got a problem.
No.
You got a problem. You got a problem. You got a problem. You got a problem.
Which
Paulie
one did you
just
pick? Which
stuffing
one,
the ballot
of all-
box right there.
Of all of those, Paulie, though, which one did you actually pick? For the tournament? Was it the first one, the
I
last
think it's
one,
the
one of the
first
middle
one.
ones?
Hold on, play it again.
Hang on. Here's the drop.
Yeah.
You got a problem.
And then here's all of them.
You got a problem.
First
I
one.
think that's the first one.
First one.
And then
You got a
I like
problem.
the second to last one.
You got a problem.
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 Not so bad. You got a problem.
You got a problem.
You've got a problem.
You got a problem.
No.
Oh,
Listen.
no.
You have a problem.
You got a problem.
No, you got a problem. I have no problems. You got a problem. Actually, Darvish, got a problem with his elbow. You could use that for.
you does have a problem.
You got a problem.
You got a problem.
All right, do we bury the hatchet with the saw if he wins?
Oh, bring him on.
Bring him out. I mean, he'd come.
He's got nothing else to do.
Right, he'd 100% be at David Buster's tomorrow if he wins.
He might be a Dave & Buster's.
He might be at
regardless.
David Buster's anyway. He's in there playing Papa Shut. Back off. Boom, boom, boom. Nobody beats
Step
the
aside,
song.
rookie.
Boom, boom.
Playing
boom,
some skee
boom,
ball.
Boom, boom, boom. He's up there getting Nerds rope with all the tickets he won. Oh my God.
Playing some air hockey.
Nerds
Bubba.
rope is
Elite.
elite.
Elite candy. We didn't have that when I was a kid.
know.
My kids get it. I'm like, yeah, you just get a little bit of it. I'm in the kitchen, like, just chomping it. It's so good. Yeah, the crumb creep one, it's tough, man. It is tough.
I think that's my favorite this
my
year,
kids,
but yeah.
my kids say it now all the time. You're a crumb creep. You're a crumb creep coward. It's so good, which is way better. You'd rather your kids be using the term crumb creep than some of the terms that they use.
we really do need
You're
to.
a crumb creep.
Yeah, we need to bring that type
Exactly.
of trash talk back. I'm really going to make it a point this year to start calling people crumb creeps more, and just crumb.
You're
crumb
a
bum.
real crumb bum.
Yeah, you're a crumb bum.
You're a crumb creep coward.
Not win.
It was a really good tournament this year.
It really was it's probably my favorite one.
It's not over yet. We do have to crown a champion,
Well,
but we
you're
don't
a
have
winner. You're a win. It's a winner either way. I'm elated if the Saw wins. I'm elated if Ben wins. They're both elite drops, and I just feel like it's perfect.
nice to have a 1 versus 1 every once in a
Yeah.
while. You don't want that every year.
Every year,
You got to
but-
have some upsets, but I think the listeners got it right.
Yeah, I do too. You guys crushed it this year. Tons and tons and tons.
I was
of
also
votes.
glad. I mean, we use a lot of the Final Four and Elite Eight
Yeah.
drops, but there are some drops that were in the first rounds that we played a couple of
Sure.
times. Like those are the ones that, like, hey, come on, you don't hear that throughout the show over the course of the year very
Yeah,
often.
no
These
doubt.
ones you heard them a bunch.
No doubt. This is it's a perfect final.
All right. Voting is now open. Check our social media channels for the link.
I don't know who I'm voting for.
I don't either. No, I'm voting for me.
Are you?
I'm going to vote for me this time.
I mean, ganja, aka cannabis, really is a winner. I mean, it is such a winner. I would die to know. Does anybody know where it came from? I have
I
no
don't
recollection.
know.
Zero.
My best guess is that he was like
Reading a
I
story.
think it was in
talking
a,
about a story and like, don't do this maybe.
or it might have been, could it have been in a game of Take on
Take on Woods, maybe?
somewhere? Ganja, aka cannabis.
Like, was he Ben-splaining to us what ganja means?
I don't think
Or
so.
was he reading
I would love
somebody
to.
else?
I would love to believe that he was like, listen, guys, ganja, aka cannabis.
Ganja, aka cannabis.
Remember yesterday when he said loose cannabis 400 times on the show for no reason whatsoever? He just randomly started talking about loose cannabis.
Loose cannabis?
What if ganja wins this year and loose cannabis wins next year?
That's
I
called,
will,
that's called a dynasty, baby.
The Duke of drops.
Going for it back to back. I will say I've got a ton of results already filing in, and the live voting.
Give me some live updates.
I'll just tell you, one of the drops has a commanding
Ooh.
75% lead.
All right.
Already.
Yeah.
You guys are the
Those
greatest.
do sometimes turn around.
They
as the
do.
day
They
goes
do.
on, yeah.
They do.
It's early. I'm just saying the early.
Certain
a
jurisdictions
landslide.
vote early, and then you get some of the other late showing up polls is totally different.
This is
segment
North
of the
Carolina jumping out to like a 22-6 lead over San Diego State.
People are saying it was from Take on Woods, which now
Yeah.
I'm dying to remember the exact one.
Do you save all your categories? Like
somewhere, yeah.
If you searched your inbox, ganja,
I'll do that while
cannabis.
you check. Do that,
Ganja, aka cannabis.
while we check traffic. And since this is a
Loose
throwback
cannabis?
Thursday, I will go back and see if I can find in my take on Woods is where that came from. So that'll come up after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Humble Casino. A few problems here, guys. Crash has cleared on northbound side of the 5 past the 54, but we have this other accident right before the 163. Couple vehicles over to the right shoulder. Northbound 15, an accident right before Adams Avenue. Motorcycle involved in this one. Looks like that may be blocking the right lane. It's up on side of the 805 right before Sweetwater. We have reports of a collision involving a couple cars. That's in the center divide. Hey, players, things are about to get real here in San Diego with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, where you can play your heart out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. Opening this summer, Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Learn more at hamulcasino.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Got it. I got it.
You got? Is it Take on
I do.
Woods?
It is Take on Woods. It was last summer.
Are you
The
sure?
category- yeah, I've got it right here. The category was Bob Marley. And the question number 3 was, Bob Marley was a prominent member of which Afro-Jamaican religious and social movement that involves the ritualized smoking of ganja, a.k.a. cannabis?
Amazing.
The best is that he wrote that out.
I did. I
Ganja,
came up with that
AKA
phrasing.
cannabis.
So it was a little bit. We were all kind of right.
Yeah,
It was a
everyone
take
was
on
right.
Woods question, and it was Ben-splaining.
Yep. And the
Ganja.
answer
Ganja.
was
Ganja, aka cannabis.
Rastafarian. Yeah.
Holy.
Oh man, that
crap.
lays me out. That lays me out, dude. That was great. Yeah, loose cannabis already a strong one. I mean, it's gonna be tough to beat that one next year.
Paulie, do we have time to get to any of our Throwback
Yeah,
Thursday
this is
clips
a fitting.
here?
This is a fitting one.
Okay.
We go back to a 2020, and I don't believe you guys had made it yet to the Corona Cave, just quite yet. But since we just did our tournament of drops, one of our favorite drops. I don't remember how it did in its tournament a couple of years ago.
Stroganoff.
Still a great drop 5 years later.
Phenomenal.
But do you remember the origin of that?
I don't
either.
I'm so happy to
Here's what
learn.
it sounded like in March of 2020.
How do you, I don't know exactly how to spell stroganoff, so it's gonna be hard to get to the website, unfortunately.
Stroganoff.
Not ONOFF. Stroganoff.
I think it's Stroganoff.
Stroganoff.
How you doing?
Romanov.
Yeah, Stroganoff.
Stroganoff. 2 F's, 1 F.
Save that.
2 F's.
Do it again.
Ben doesn't get it yet.
2 F's, 1 F.
Just do this whole word.
Stroganoff.
There's the drop.
All right, moving on.
Is that in the tournament next year?
100%.
Stroganoff.
Still doesn't get it.
There, he just hit him. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Higgins, everybody. It literally just hit him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he had no idea.
One of my favorite dishes growing up. My
It's-
mom used to make it
It
all the
is
time.
fantastic.
Loved it.
That's the origin.
Mushroom,
Stroganoff.
beef, mushrooms, little sour
Cream,
cream.
yeah.
It's really delicious.
Any-
On like a bed of egg noodles.
Oh, anytime of
really,
day.
really good dish. Beef stroganoff.
You can do it.
It's even better with
You can have it in the morning,
beef.
afternoon,
In fact, you know what?
evening.
It's definitely a dish best served warm. So it's
And
hot beef.
It is hot
Stroganoff.
beef stroganoff.
Mm.
Yeah, that's good stuff, my friend.
Mm.
You are one in a million. The fact that it took him a minute, we're laughing and sniggling, and he's like, "Oh, now I get it."
It's the difference in his laugh. You can hear it.
100%.
Stroganoff.
Yeah, there you go. Just hit
Moment
it.
of recognition.
Yeah.
Right there. Moment of
A
recognition.
lot of people say it's clarity. Once that happens, you get a certain clarity after you have that. Yeah, right.
All right. So we
Post meal clarity.
We will come back. Our 8 o'clock hour will include a visit from Sam Levitt. We will play a little real or fake on the Throwback Thursday, try to qualify a tier 1 for the trip to Las Vegas and more. Don't go away. Ben and Woods continuing next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home on a Thursday. Ben and Woods 97.3, The Fan. Great to be here with you. It should be a beautiful day. Beautiful day for golf, which the three of us will be partaking in after the program. Looking forward to going to the GOAT. It's been a while. I don't think I've been back since our tournament last year. But I want one of those hot dogs. They have the best hot dogs on the planet.
He's there on Thursday.
Oh, is he not?
Just Friday, Saturday.
Do I need to stop and eat before I go?
Sunday.
You know,
possibly.
I get hungry.
Yeah, I know you do.
Before
now I'm worried.
The round. If you promise me the dog's going to be there and I show up and it's not there, I don't know what I'm going to do.
There's a Popeyes fried chicken right off the exit there.
It's been a minute since I've had Popeyes.
That sounds good to you.
It sounds really good to me, actually. There's a
This
Dunkin'.
hour actually is brought to you by Popeyes.
Is it really?
It's also a
Yeah.
Wiener Schnitzel.
Oh,
perfect. Paulie, why don't we just get that done? As I mentioned it. This hour of Ben and Woods brought to you by Popeyes. Woods, let Popeyes do the fishing while you enjoy their delicious seafood.
I'm going to go with the chicken.
Come in today for Popeyes shrimp tackle box, or if you're eyeing that flounder fish sandwich, classic or spicy, get them before they're gone for a limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. The irony is it's going to be a beautiful day to be outside.
And the friggin' tournament's on.
Not a great day just to be sitting inside all day and watching basketball. It would be great if it was kind of rainy and you're stuck inside to watch. It's a good day for outside baseball. And here in Arizona, the Padres play
Here in
tonight.
Arizona?
Here and in Arizona.
Oh, I thought you said here in Arizona.
The Padres game will be on television tonight. First time with the TV crew. Got a tweet from Bob Scanlon, said, hope the desert is ready for us. I know we're ready to broadcast some Padres Cactus League baseball. A little selfie of Bob, Mud, and Don at the baggage carousel, I believe at Phoenix
Sky Harbor
Airport. So they will be on the call tonight.
Call it
but
Sky Harbor.
That's the name of the
No
airport.
harbor there.
Yeah, there's no water in the whole
it's
state.
A Sky Harbor. It's a harbor for
Harbor
the
of the-
airplanes coming in from the sky.
Sky Oasis.
It's a really dumb name for an airport.
Yeah, it is. It is.
No one really ever points that out.
It would actually make a lot more sense in San Diego. It's right on the water.
Yes, Sky Harbor.
Then I think you confuse it with the real harbor, which is right there. You don't confuse it with anything in Phoenix because they have no boats.
There's no water.
Yeah, all they have is a Sky Harbor for
Lake
their
Mead
airplanes.
somewhere. I think that's in Vegas, actually. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Rindle, the executive producer of the program. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. I have a little anxiety about this because I'm playing with strangers, which that doesn't bother me, but I'm not good. My game has gone to absolute S, and it's embarrassing when you're playing with people that listen to your show and they wanted to play with you, and you play like a bumbling idiot.
There's actually a television commercial running on my station in which you admit how bad your golf game is.
My wrists don't
Your
hurt.
wrists don't hurt. My game still is terrible, but my wrists don't hurt anymore.
Next time I'll just make a donation. It's more comfortable for me because I'm just not good.
No, we're raising a good chunk of change.
I know we did, and that makes me happy. That's how I had to pitch it to my wife today. Kids are out on early release, like it's parole. They got out for good behavior.
Did they?
So I got home yesterday. I go, oh, so sorry. I have to play golf tomorrow. She says, what do you mean have to? I said, well, it's a charity thing. You know me. I can't stop doing charity work. So we committed to this thing. We raised a lot of money, so I'm going to go out there. And hopefully the guys that I play with are terrible.
You know, as things go in ways to raise money for charity, us going to play a round of golf is not the
worst
onerous task.
No, but unless you're good at golf.
That's true.
So for you, I mean, what if we were all going today to play in a charity baseball game? How would you feel now?
Not as good.
Not as well. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of how I'm feeling. Paulie, how are you feeling about it?
I'll be fine.
All right.
I'm good.
He's going to be fine.
I apparently will not.
I don't set high expectations for myself. You do. Even when you don't if
Don't
you don't play golf
practice.
for 6 months, don't even touch your clubs. You will get angry. You will possibly throw a club. You will get mad at yourself for bad shots.
Yeah.
I know I haven't practiced. I know it's just, hey, I'm out there to have a good time. Whatever happens. I can't get mad.
I
It's
wonder
like
why
everyone
my
Monday.
son cries when he gets out in baseball. I wonder where he got this from.
Set
Really?
low expectations. You're not disappointed as
All
often.
right, I'm gonna keep really low expectations.
How
for
could you have
myself.
high expectations when you don't practice or don't play?
I get it, but there was a time I was actually okay. I just didn't.
You were
keep up with
playing
it.
a lot.
I was
You were
playing a ton.
practicing more.
Yeah, it's true. And then
You have trouble doing both baseball and golf
can't
at the same time.
do it.
Two different swings.
Yes.
One impacts the other. You
Can't
really
train
6
the
months
same.
off the radio.
When
And
do you
just
think-
came back? You would be flubbing. You'd be kind of
Yeah.
out of sorts.
I mean, I'm terrible
When
now.
do you think you'll retire from baseball?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not playing great this year, but I haven't gotten to play a lot. And my vision has gone a little bit, so I'm not seeing it as well as I was. I think that the logical next step for me is to get out of the highest level of adult ball, the 18 AA, and go up to 35s and then 45s. And then, I want to play as long as I can. I love it. I still love going out and playing.
Paulie, what about you? You play basketball still.
Mhm.
Do you feel like you're nearing the end, or do you have many more years?
I'm like kind of just getting started again. Played full game on Tuesday night. Felt really good afterwards.
Yeah.
Like,
So, my brother is now in his mid-40s. He still plays serious pickup basketball, with like
is he available on Tuesday nights?
good players. Yeah, he might be interested in showing up for an extra. I don't know, he's got the kids too now. So
See if we can get Sam a t-shirt.
get him on the team. Ringers on the team.
Playoffs start next week. I'm just saying, Sammy, if you're listening.
But like my dad, he kept saying, this is it. But he kept playing, I would say, well into his maybe like 60s almost.
Yeah.
Pick up basketball. Wasn't great on his knees and certainly, but he just couldn't give it up. He just loved it too much.
Yeah, that's how I feel about baseball. I really do. I don't play a ton of defensive innings anymore. I kind of let the younger guys play on defense, and I like to swing it still. I just haven't been swinging it very well because I haven't gotten any reps. I think I've had 6 ABs all season. I'm 0 for 6 with 1 K, and I'm not seeing the ball great. I'm getting old. It's a bummer to hear, but I still something about playing on Sundays, man. I get up and I'm like, oh my God, here we go. I get to play baseball today. So I don't know, Benny. I
pick golf because I feel like I don't ever have to.
You don't
pick it
have
up.
to.
I can just keep playing it and keep playing it. My grandpa, he played beach volleyball almost every day into his 70s.
That is insane. I love it, man. But it's
Golf's so much different than baseball or basketball, though, because you need more guys. You can go out and either practice or play around by yourself and work on your game and get better and better as the years go on. You need 9 guys for some basketball. You need 17 more guys to play some baseball.
A real game, yeah.
You can't just go out there and.
I love that I can show up by myself at a golf course.
Go play.
They put me out by myself or with a threesome, whatever, and I can go out and play.
Yeah.
I don't have to coordinate with anybody.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much all I can do. Frenchie M says it's time for slow pitch again. I've never played slow pitch. I played on one rec team. I hated it. It was not for me. I want the real thing. I like the wood bats, the helmets, the real pitching. And I don't care, at some point I need to go play with the older guys because that's kind of where I'm at. That's where my game's at. Still played pretty well at fantasy camp, but it's different. It's a different level. This level that they put us in this year is no joke. I mean, it is no joke. They're guys throwing nasty stuff.
Let me guess. On the occasions where you do have a good day, and you get a hit against someone who's throwing 80, feels pretty good, doesn't it?
There's no better feeling. I mean, there's literally when you barrel a baseball into the gap and you slide in second base and the whole team's screaming for you because they know you're kind of an idiot and you don't hit a lot of doubles. It's the best feeling on the planet. So I don't know, man. I haven't really thought about hanging them up yet, but I don't know. Just a couple hits gets me right back on it though. So you get a couple knocks, I'll play 5 more years. But yeah, I'm a little nervous about today because I don't want to embarrass myself, but I'm probably going to. You won't.
I mean, you should never feel embarrassed.
Are we all playing against each other? Like
we'll do
your
a
foursome
baseball
versus your
match.
foursome?
Can we do a scramble?
Friendly.
That's fun.
I suggested that, and we'll see what the charity winners want to play. One of them came back to me and said they kind of wanted to play their own ball, but that can be my group, and you guys can.
They
play
paid
scramble.
good money, so
whatever they
want.
Yeah, they're the ones who paid the good money for charity. So I will let them dictate the terms of the competition.
And we will be competing though.
I think it's always, whether or not there's anything on the line, there's always room for some friendly competition. On
Well,
the
if we're
golf
going to do
course.
it, then let's do it.
All right.
Let's play for some money. That'll make me dial in a little bit more. All right, let's do it. I'm excited.
The key will be making it equitable.
Yeah,
I have no
get way
idea
more
how
strokes than you
good
do.
the people are. So, if one group is much better than the other, I'll see if they have handicaps and stuff, and then I'll try to figure out what I'm pretty good at setting up.
You are.
I think what is fair competition. So
That's true. All right.
but I have the advantage at the GOAT. Play it a lot. So
Yeah,
it's definitely
That's
my
true.
home course.
I'll be thinking about it for the next 3 hours, just so you know.
All right, we're now just an hour away from tip-off of the NCAA tournament. Getting closer to the very first game. Last chance to get your brackets in. If you have any lingering ones that you need to enter, you're down to one last hour, and then everything closes at 9:15 this morning when the first game tips off, so we can talk a little more college basketball as we go forward. We also have Real or Fake coming up in our next segment on a Throwback Thursday. If you'd like to be our contestant, at 833-288-0973. You can call us, get in line, a chance to qualify for the Alanis Morissette tickets and trip to Las Vegas. Get to that in our next segment with Ben and Woods, 833-288-0973.
Well, nothing beats March basketball. Bring the fun of a bracket to every game day by making entries on Underdog, having a blast with Underdog, one of the leading sports apps. You can now play right here in our state. Want to win up to 1,000 times your money? You can with Underdog. To play, just choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats: points, assists, rebounds, and more. And starting next week, it'll be hits. It will be home runs. It will be all the things that baseball provides. So you got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. You can mix and match or just stick with one sport as well. Been a lot of fun. Download the Underdog app today. Sign up using the promo code WOODS. Unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus credits when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code WOODS. Claim your special offer today. Get up to $1,000 in bonus credits instantly upon first deposit. Must be 18 and over, 19 and over in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 and over in Colorado for some games, 21 and over in Massachusetts and Arizona. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Void where prohibited. Terms do apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Ski Slope Sammy will join us in our next segment, fresh off the Flagstaff Mountain, back in Peoria for his last 5 days of spring training.
Really making him rock the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, these are big days. This is the culmination of the entire camp. Everything has led up to this moment.
When is final cut down day?
Not until opening day, technically.
Really? Yeah, you can make your decisions.
Yeah, you don't have to set your roster until like the morning of opening day. So
yeah, they might announce the opening day roster like Wednesday.
Now,
night.
last year they had to, they had a traveling party for Korea.
Last year was different.
But then they were able to change it again before opening day, so it was a little bit different. But yeah, they may send some guys and option them down between now and Monday when spring training ends.
Yeah.
But you probably won't have the final decision. They'll bring everybody back for a workout at Petco Park, I would think, next week, and then on Thursday, we'll find out. They'll release the 26-man roster for the Padres and your first opening day starting lineup. But we'll have to wait until then. So another week. We don't have to wait for real or fake, though. We got a contestant on the line. Let's get to today's Throwback Thursday game.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods.
You can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
The people, let's go with Scott. Scott, are you there?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi,
That's
Scott.
a good answer, Scott, because you are now our contestant for Real or Fake, and you have an opportunity to qualify for our grand prize trip to Las Vegas with 2 tickets to see Alanis Morissette at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace, a 2-night stay at the Flamingo Hotel and Casino, and a $100 gas card. You can see Ticketmaster.com for tickets. All right, Woodsy can help you with this. You need to get 4 of 7 right in Real or Fake to qualify for the grand prize. Scott Van Pelt and his buddy Stanford Steve actually played this game on SportsCenter earlier this week, but I wanted to make sure I got my full credit for inventing Real or Fake.
I'm shocked.
True TV shows, which is why we've done this before. It's one of my favorites for the NCAA tournament. You don't watch True TV all year long until the college basketball is on.
Yep.
But what else is on that channel when we're not watching it? So this is a classic. True TV's now been around for 17 years. It's a lot of programming. Today on Real or Fake, I'll give you a title. You tell me if it's a real show that ever aired on True TV or a fake that I have invented for today's game. Scott, you got the rules?
Yeah, sure
All
do.
right, let's go for it. Woodsy, happy to help if he can. Round number 1, Real or Fake True TV show. Sinbad's sitcom stars. Real or fake? Sinbad's sitcom stars.
That sounds true.
That sounds real, he says, and he is wrong.
I would have said fake. Oh, it's
all right. That's all right. We got plenty of
time.
time left.
Yeah,
all right. Round
good.
number 2. Somebody ate that. Somebody ate that. Real or fake true TV show?
Real.
That is. All right. That's all right.
All right, we're fine. We're fine.
Turn this
You're fine.
around
Let's
here.
go.
All
You
right.
got it.
Round number 3.
Come on.
Full Throttle Saloon. Full Throttle Saloon. Real or fake true TV show?
The odds are, I don't know if they're with me or
That's
against me,
good
but
point.
I'll have to say real.
And this time, you
Oh,
are
here we
correct.
go.
There we go. On the board.
All right, that's 1 correct. Let's go to round number 4. Talk show, the game show. Real or fake? Talk show, the game show. Real or fake?
That sounds real.
Does? Would?
Oh, God, I
you're
was said
wrong.
fake.
That is real.
Sorry, shaking my
It
head.
should be true or false.
It was like one of those late night shows, but the guests would compete to see who was the best guest as well. Talk show, the game show. All right, that's 2 now.
Wonder why that
You're
didn't
back
take
in
off.
it. All right, here we go. Round number 5. Lock up the real lives of prison guards. Real or fake? Lock up the real lives of prison guards.
Fake.
Real. No, fake. You're right. Fake. Woods is nodding the wrong way
What?
every single time.
They-
That's
a
fake.
real show.
No, I made that up.
No, it's a real show.
I made it up.
No, it's a real show. Lockup's a real show.
Is that what it's called?
I'm like 99% sure. Lockup.
There is a TV series called Lock Up. I totally just made that up. It's not called The Real Lives of Prison Guards, but there is a show.
It's not on True
There
TV.
was there was a series called Lock Up.
Yeah,
it was
of
on
course there was.
MSNBC.
There you go. I guess
Total-
technically it still
It's
works.
not a True TV, and I thought I made that one up. All right,
You
that's how we
also
give you
thought
credit
you
for
made
that.
up Manny. Where does Manny goes, the
All right, here we
Padres
go.
go.
Round number 6. Scott, Bobcat Goldthwait's Misfits and Monsters. Real or fake?
That is fake.
That is real.
No!
It's okay. We have got the final
Game 7.
The final one, Game 7, for all the marbles here. Real or fake true TV show. World's Most Dangerous Bridges. Real or fake true TV show. Scott, for all the marbles, good luck to you. Your answer, please.
What do you think, Woods?
What is it?
World's Most Dangerous Bridges.
Fake.
What says fake? Gonna trust him?
Oh man, I was leaning the other way. I'll go with you then.
Oh,
it's all on you.
Woods has been like wrong every time. For all the marbles, Paulie, is he right?
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. Scott, congratulations. Stay on the line. Paulie will get your information during our break and put you into our grand prize drawing.
Well done.
For the trip to Las Vegas.
Whew. Lockup. Remember when he thought he created the show Lockup?
I guess apparently I didn't.
Dateline. I just made that up.
I did create Somebody Ate That.
That was good.
Sitcom Stars.
How did Sinbad get in your head?
I don't know. I just thought. So the Bobcat Goldthwait show was real, and I thought, who's another random celebrity that could have a true TV show? And
how's Sinbad doing? Is he still around?
I think he died. Actually,
did he?
I don't know. I may have killed him.
If he's
no, he's alive.
Okay,
he's
all
alive.
right.
Yeah, Sinbad's still around.
68 years old.
Till this afternoon, I'm sure.
David Adkins, better known by his stage name Sinbad.
He did a movie with Phil Hartman that was not terrible. And
Really?
House Guest, I think.
Okay.
It was actually pretty good. I mean, Phil Hartman is like one of the funniest guys ever to live. And I think it was called House Guest. You ever see that, Paulie? It's not bad.
Maybe.
It's not bad.
Sounds
it's
familiar.
not bad. He pretends to be his buddy from camp when they were little kids. And
1995
yeah.
House Guest.
That
Phil
does sound
Hartman's
familiar.
Sinbad.
Isn't it weird that 95 was a very dark period for me, but yet I managed to catch House Guest. All the things I missed, but I did catch House Guest.
He was
Guest
also
with
in
Sinbad.
Good Burger, Jingle All the Way, and Coneheads, the movie.
I loved Coneheads. Loved it.
Did you?
I thought it was so funny.
I thought it was great.
I loved it too. You didn't like it?
Not my favorite.
That's fair. What's that turd
So
movie
many
you made me
SNL
watch?
guys.
Big Night.
Big Night. Well, the worst movie of all time.
It's not. It's a really good movie.
Stanley Tucci and
Stanley, Minnie Driver.
It was
Ian
He goes,
Holm.
you got to check this movie
Tony
out.
Shalhoub.
Yeah, he said, you got to check
Really
this
good-
movie out.
really good
And I said, what's it
cast.
called? He said, Good Night. And I said, all right, I went home and watched it.
About
Paulie,
an Italian restaurant in the 50s.
it was like 40 minutes. It was 40 minutes of me watching going, he's pranking me. This guy's doing bits on me. It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Maybe no more
between brothers.
movie recommendations from Ben.
No.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
A relationship between two brothers.
I get
thought that you might like that.
That was terrible.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. The way he was selling it, I was like, oh, hell yeah. It's like the next Goodfellas Casino. No, it was not good. And it's your favorite movie, you said.
What that is my
Good
favorite.
Night. Did you say that?
Big Night.
Big Night.
It's one of my favorites. I do enjoy it quite a bit. All right.
I'm glad he won.
I got some baseball news for you.
What do you got?
Blue Jays president Mark Shapiro says, I think we're going to sign Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I think we're going to extend him. The reason I feel that way is because we have such clear alignment on the desired outcome. That's from their MLB.com Blue Jays reporter. Now, they have reportedly, remember, they had the deadline for the start of the season. They did not get the extension done for Vlad, and he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. So Vlad said yesterday, he thinks if he has a good year,
make
700 is in the cards.
Yeah.
If he has a bad year, he thinks 500 is kind of his floor for like a bad year.
Can you
I like
imagine?
that. I like the thinking.
Can you imagine? If I don't really meet expectations, I'm still going to make $500 million.
I know this Mark Shapiro's quote. I'm trying to parse this. The reason I feel that way is because we have such a clear alignment on the desired outcome. Is that like the business way of saying, well, we want to, so I think we will?
Is he manifesting it?
Apparently, yes. He's just trying to make it, like, talk it into existence here. Because they reportedly offered him.
Well, they were way off. That's the thing. There was no alignment, really.
Well, they wanted to do the deferrals, and Vlad wanted just a regular contract, right?
Yeah.
And they could not come up with an agreement. You know, the deadline passed, and Vlad says, all right, I'll play the season out, and we'll see how I do. He thinks he gets anywhere between $500 and $700 million, depending on how he does this season.
Yeah. I mean, is that That's a bit of a stretch for him, isn't it? Though, like what is a bad year for Vlad Guerrero?
I mean, it'd probably be injured like, for much of the year.
Still making $500 million.
You know, if he's healthy, he's going to have a pretty good year, I would
Interesting.
think. The difference, like in reality, though, between 500 and 700 million, math-wise, it's 200 million.
Right.
Like the rest of your life, quality-wise, there's no difference at all.
Probably not much of a difference, I would imagine. I'd rather have the 7.
That's why you say, well, he's risking it if he plays this season and has a bad season. What is he risking?
He's risking nothing.
He's
really.
not risking anything at all, really.
Yeah.
I guess a career-ending injury is what he's risking.
Correct.
And then he gets nothing, which then that would be a huge loss for him. But otherwise, I mean, what's the difference? That's insane money either way.
He looks good though. Like he's dropped some weight. He looks good.
As do most players going into their year before free agency.
I don't know. Like
you're never going to let yourself go. That's not the year to do it.
We have a contract year next year. I don't know.
Go?
I mean,
not going to be in the best radio shape of your life next year.
I don't think so. My guess is probably no. I think I'm getting worse as the older I get. So.
Smoking a ton of cigarettes.
Yeah.
That could be good for radio.
That's true.
Deep, scratchy voice. All right. Sammy is going to join us. He's back from his ski day and returning to Peoria, Arizona for the last few days of spring training. Get to Sammy coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Last couple days of our biggest fan contest. A couple more names to go, and then next week we will select our grand prize winner who wins the night in the Odyssey Suite at a Padres game this season. Last chance to register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest-fan. We will have our name at 9 o'clock this morning, and then another name at 1, and then 5:30 this afternoon, and then tomorrow's names, and I believe that is that for the biggest fan contest in 2025. We're all big fans of one Sam Levitt, who got enjoyed a day off. Padres had their first spring training day off in more than 2 weeks yesterday. Now, I don't know if does that mean the complex is completely empty? Some guys still go in for treatment, or was it just a ghost town there? I don't know. Sammy
didn't know either. He was gone.
He went skiing. Looked like a beautiful day in the mountains of Flagstaff, and he joins us right now on 97.3 The Fan. Sam, good morning.
Hey guys, good morning.
You still in Flagstaff?
I did. Drove up to Flagstaff, went to the Arizona Snow Bowl, had a nice time. Really, really nice little mountain. I would recommend it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Big Bear. I'm sure many of our listeners have been to Big Bear. So nice little mountain. It has plenty of snow. They had big storms last couple of weeks, and had a really nice time. So it was nice few hours of skiing. I heard your talk earlier, and I know, Woodsy, you're going to hit the slopes here pretty soon. I'm not sore today. Now, part of that is I've skied a couple of times already this winter, and this is not the biggest mountain, so even the blues are, which I pretty much stick to for the most part, the blues are not the most challenging in the world. So I'm not too sore today. Calves feeling it maybe a little bit, but I do still, even though I ski, a couple of times a winter now, at least I try to, I still do get, after a full day, that first day, when I go for day 2, the minute I hit the slopes, my quads are on absolute fire. So I certainly do feel it. And Woodsy, I am fairly positive you're going to feel it as well.
It's an exhausting experience, all of it, like the whole skiing process of like getting up in the morning. You got to put all your gear on. Now, this will be the first time I'm doing it with a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. And so we got to
that makes it much easier.
Yeah. Put their gear on, get them ready. They've never really been in the snow, so they're not really going to know what to expect. So what I found out was on our travel day tomorrow, as soon as we land, we have to go, me, my father-in-law, my 2 boys, we have to go get our skis, boots, and poles.
Yes.
We have to go straight to the mountain when we land. So full travel day, straight to the mountain, get our gear, go back, and then be ready to hit the slopes at 9 a.m. on Saturday, which will be a lot of fun. They've never skied before, so they're going to be in ski school. And, I'll hang with them a little bit. But Bo said, how long is ski school? I go, it's 5 hours. And he looked at me, and he goes, how many days am I going? I said, 3. And he's like, 15 hours of ski school. I go, yeah, exactly.
He'll have fun.
If he hates it, though, like, what do you do? If he's like, I hate this, I'm not doing it. You're screwed. You're just screwed.
I doubt he'll feel like that. It is fun, and now he'll have to learn and get the hang of it. But I'm sure he will pretty quickly get the hang of it and be able to do some little hills. And
yeah,
I will tell you, Woody, I think it's a great thing to get him involved with early. I'm obviously not a parent, and you don't need advice from me, but it's somebody who did take, go to ski school as a kid. And then I didn't do it for a long time. And now I'm back into it much later as an adult and picked it up really quickly again. I think it's great. Like, I think if you can, I think it's a really good skill, and you guys will be able to go together one day. It's pretty cool. You're right though. It's an ordeal to get the skis.
Oh my God.
To get dressed, to get to the mountain, to get on the gondola, to carry everything. But you're doing it right by going the night before rather than first thing in the morning. Because I will say one thing at that Arizona Snow Bowl yesterday. I got there at like 9:30, which I thought was, I got a little bit of a later start from Phoenix, but it was a little bit later than I wanted to get up there. I'm not kidding. It took me an hour and a half. Now, I have my own boots, but I don't have my own skis.
Oh.
It took me an hour and a half to get my skis from the rental. I had no idea on a Wednesday morning in March it was going to be anywhere near that busy. It was crazy. So I don't know if it's just always like that, but yeah, it's not the best if you're doing it morning of, and then I wasn't on the mountain till like after 11:30.
That's crazy.
Yeah, did you see any Padres up there doing some skiing on their day off? I assume Fernando Tatis Jr. goes right to the ski jump
He goes, hella skiing. Yeah.
On his day off.
I actually probably something he would enjoy, but
please
it's
no,
something.
Please no,
I
please
don't. I
no
don't
skiing
think
for any of the Padres on their days.
I don't.
Days
I
off.
no. I actually. I'm pretty positive in their contracts there are things about skiing in particular. Yeah, I think that's a pretty common thing.
Doesn't mean that it hasn't been violent. Is that what Jeff Kent did? Is that how he got hurt and said it fell off his truck? Was that skiing or was that something else?
I don't know if he was skiing. He said he was washing his truck.
And fell, but it was something that he shouldn't have been doing in his contract. All right, Sammy. They're not playing until tonight. Texas Rangers coming to the Peoria Sports Complex, but they're down to 5 days left in spring training. What's your focus here coming up in these final 5 days of coverage?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can break it down into a few different categories. Number one, with the news about Yu Darvish, I mean, I would be surprised if he's ready for that first turn through the rotation. I mean, the Padres wouldn't commit to saying that a couple of days ago, and it's unclear what their alarm level is, but let's just be honest about it. For a 38-year-old pitcher, when you hear the words, elbow tightness and inflammation, doesn't make you feel great, and we don't have any more information on it, but the bottom line is you hasn't pitched in a week. He hasn't thrown more than 60 pitches, so let's just put 2 and 2 together here. Opening day is next Thursday. You're going to be through your first turn in the rotation basically in 2 weeks. I mean, you have to think there's legitimate possibility that he is not going to be part of that first turn. Again, they have not said that, but when you're talking about the words they've used, and it's unclear as to whether he's got imaging or not, and I'm sure we will hear updates on him in the next few days. That is, to me, that's now kind of focus number one of, okay, what does that mean for the guys battling for what was one spot now becomes potentially 2 spots, of Kyle Hart, of Randy Vasquez, of Stephen Kolek. If Matt Waldron is able to get back quicker, which it sounds like he might, sounds like the oblique injury is probably not as bad as they originally thought, which is good. What do they do with those 2 spots, potentially, if there are 2? And then what happens with your bullpen with essentially 2 spots? Are they going to take one of those guys who does not make the rotation and put him in the bullpen? Are they going to send those guys down to AAA? If they don't take one of those guys and put him in the bullpen, okay, let's assume Alec Jacob makes one of those bullpen spots. Well, what do they do with the other? And do you need a quote unquote long man at the start of the year? Because that guy is not, in my mind, out of the locks in that bullpen, that guy is not clearly there right now. So it makes the pitching side of things, a little bit more complicated. Obviously, we've talked at length about the final bench spot or 2. Again, if you're, assuming that Jason Hayward and Yuli Gurriel are on this team and Jose Iglesias as well, I mean, there's a potential, and you're telling me, let's live in a world where Tyler Wade is on the team. I mean, you're looking at 1, maybe 2 bench spots, and there are going to be really, really, really tough decisions to be made there. And we've talked, I'm with you guys. We've talked at length about it and all the different permutations that could take on. So I know that's a few different things, but it's kind of the same stuff we've talked about for a while here.
Yeah, man.
Seeing how it shakes out. And also, but I do think the pitching side of things, that's kind of the newest part of it, where, if you is not ready for the start of the season, it becomes that much more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really else to say, Sammy. We're all kind of in that wait and see. And Ben kind of asked earlier in the show, like, what are you looking to see in the next week or so? And for me, it's just stay healthy. I mean, really, like, stay healthy,
I'm with you.
Get back. Start the season with the best 26 guys that you feel are best to win games early in the season. We all know the roster is going to look vastly different in September. We know it's going to look different in October than it did in September. I mean, it's just the way that baseball goes right now. But how do you feel, Sammy, about the depth of this team as it stands today? Because, if, like I said earlier, my biggest fear is giving roster spots to guys that you want to see that have something left in the tank.
Yeah.
And you let the next Andres Munoz or the next Brent Rooker, sign with another team because they had an opt-out. They didn't want to get sent down to the minors.
Yeah, I think if I'm looking at the three parts of this team, the rotation, the bullpen, and their lineup. So look, I think obviously we've had a ton of focus on these bench spots and left field, and it is all important. But at the end of the day, you know what kind of the top six are. And as long as those guys do what we believe they're capable of doing, I believe they should be okay offensively. Now, I'm not saying that the bottom third of your lineup not being very potent is a great thing, but I'm not overly concerned about what they are going to be and can be offensively. The bullpen, I think their bullpen has the chance to be one of the best in baseball. Again, final couple of spots to figure out. You don't love that Reynolds and Hoeing are down to start the year, but it feels like you can maneuver through that, and they've got a lot of arms you like and trust in that pen. I'll tell you, with the Darvish news, yeah, I think what I'm looking for is obviously you want everybody to stay healthy, but I think I think it's okay to be a little concerned about the rotation. I mean, without Darvish, you're hoping that Michael King just picks right up where he left off.
Yep.
He's certainly capable of it, but we saw last year ups and downs early on. We know Dylan Cease can be streaky. You hope he doesn't start the year in kind of a valley of one of those spots. Nick Pivetta, they love the upside, but been a guy who's had up and down stretches of his career. And let's be honest, for as much as we've talked about Kolek and Hart, and we know more about Vasquez in the major leagues, we don't truly know what Kolek and Hart are as an actual starting pitcher in the major leagues every 5 days.
Yep.
So to me, there's a little potential for like all of a sudden your rotation is feeling much shakier than what you anticipated. So you want good health, everybody get out of here healthy, and hopefully your rotation can hold up early in the year enough as you kind of try to figure things out. I think to me that's like my main focus right now is that rotation, because I think offensively and bullpen wise, I think Woodsy, they should be okay. The rotation maybe is a little concerning.
Only a couple more spring training Sammy appearances, and then he transforms into regular season Sammy.
San Diego Sammy.
Next week, Sammy, you've done a great job.
Great job.
Sammy.
OB Sammy.
OB
That's right.
Sammy, back to his new place that he hasn't even lived in yet when he returns for the start of the season next week. Have a good night. Watch that Rangers game. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning to wrap up the week.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right, spring training Sammy with us. I have a question for you about these last 5 days, Woods. Get to it here on our last few minutes before 9 o'clock after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Eliminate Termite, the orange oil experts. Still clearing an accident north on 15 before Adams Avenue. Motorcycle involved in this one, moving everything over the right shoulder. Stalled car in the center divide, north 805. Just past Home Avenue, and street-fine closures along Miramar Road heading eastbound between Camino Santa Fe and Commerce, all due to a water main break. One lane blocked on the westbound side. Have termites? Eliminate Termite inspects, treats, and repairs termite damage, all with a full structural warranty. Their orange oil treatment is safe for people, pets, and the planet. No tent, no move out. Protect your home naturally. Schedule a free inspection at eliminatetermite.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Clearly, there are some tight competitions at Padres spring training camp for these last roster jobs, and it feels like every at bat, really important. You want to make a good final impression here the last few days of spring training. However, we heard the audio from Gavin Sheets yesterday, the interview he did with Gwynn and Chris, talking about, God, you feel like it's such a great day, batting practice,
my
cages,
favorite,
and I know
4 hours.
It stuck out, and then you worry, you go in the game, you get one at bat, and you roll over to second.
So good, man.
After a month, more than a month of spring training, and they've seen Gavin Sheets, they've seen Brandon Lockridge, they've seen Eggy, they've seen all these guys. Do you really think that Mike Schilt and AJ Preller are going to be dialed into these last couple of at-bats at spring training? Do they really make a difference? Are they going to change anybody's mind? Like, we thought Gavin Sheets was our DH, but
he really struggled this week.
He went 0 for 4 today, and so now we're totally changing our plan. Or, we know that, Tyler Wade has struggled, but, man, he went 2 for 3 in this last game. Back on the team. I mean, is there really anything you can do these last couple of days, or are their minds already made up?
Bro, baseball is tells me that their minds are made up. It's my biggest fear. I mean, Than just said, who runs the Padres club? Schultz or the players? It seems like the players. No, I don't think it's the players at all. I think it's the general manager, and I think it's Mike Schultz has some involvement and say. I know that what was the word last year? The buzzword.
Holistic.
They have a holistic approach. I have always gotten the sense in baseball, and we've beaten this thing like a dead horse, that their minds are made up. Kevin Acee said as much last week. Could I be wrong? Could he be wrong? Absolutely. Has he been wrong before? Yes. Have I? Yes. You do get the sense that the roster is going to have Hayward, Gurriel, and Tyler Wade on it.
Like the AC example with Hayward
Yes.
locked in for left field.
Right. You're like, what?
You get the sense that AC doesn't just throw that out there.
I think it would be foolish to throw it out there.
Maybe somebody that knows what they're talking about said, yeah, we have our full intention is to have Jason Hayward in left field.
Yeah.
I think maybe there's one spot that they're truly like, oh, it's so close. And even I'm not sure. And they'll go, okay, this guy had a good final week. We'll take that momentum riding into the season. But for the most part, I think their decisions are made. And, you're just trying to avoid injury, make sure everyone stays healthy. And there's not much you can do. If someone does a Gavin Sheets and homers in 5 straight games, okay, maybe you do think about, okay, we maybe have that guy on the team. He's red hot right now. But under normal circumstances, I don't think these last 5 days are that critical.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it's about fine-tuning some things for pitchers. I think it's about hitters continuing to try to get their timing. I've never been part of a spring training, Ben. I've never been part of building a baseball team and selecting who makes it. But my sense, you asked me for my opinion is that they know exactly who's going to be here next Thursday. They know exactly who's going to be here. I just get that sense because I know this game and have been around it, and we see it every year. Same things happen.
All right, we will come back. We've got our biggest fan announcement in our final hour. Let's make it a good one. Finish this show strong with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, tomorrow, remember, we will be at Dave & Buster's in Mission Valley, broadcasting live on a Friday starting at 6 a.m. Give you some of the details. It's a full-day event for 97.3 The Fan. Our show, Braden Show, Gwen and Chris Show, Scraby Show, all the way until 7 p.m. College basketball all over the place, plus a breakfast burrito station, drink specials on mimosas, Bloody Marys, and beer all day long, a basketball shooting competition, an hourly raffle giveaway. So join us tomorrow live at Dave & Buster's at 2931 Camino del Rio North. Next, that's right down there next to that. Is that skydiving place still down there? The indoor skydiving?
I believe so.
I did that.
Yeah, you did?
I did that.
You did?
Yeah, we had a where was I? I think it was at 94.9. It was called, like, what's it called?
I Fly
San Diego. And they said,
a big
hey,
fan. And
yeah, they
just
said,
like,
do you want to come down and do this? And I said, yeah, I do. I would love it. It was amazing. I mean, it really was
you
fun.
don't want to do real skydiving.
No, I have no desire
But
to
you
jump
were
out of a
okay
plane.
with the fake skydiving.
I wouldn't say I was okay. I would say it was
pretty scary still?
pretty
Do you
dicey.
like jump off the edge, or do you
So-
like start at the bottom and it blows you upward?
Well, and I had a I guess I had a guy on my back. That's what.
Oh,
that's
they
what it
have
was.
to
Yeah.
go to a tandem. They don't let
For
you
your-
go by yourself
for your
even?
first one.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Just
they
like
had
just like a real
and
skydive.
it was like he would be like, all right,
There's
ready?
no chute, right?
No.
No,
Not that I recall.
There's a suit. Is
I
there
feel
a
like there's
suit?
a
or-
suit you
a
wear.
suit?
Yeah, if you get in a suit, it was a long time ago. It was probably 10 years ago at least. But guy on my back, and he's like, all right, you ready? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, he like does a move and you go right to the top. You're like, "Bleh," and then he goes down. I mean,
See, that sounds like a blast.
it was fun, man.
Can we
If,
get Ben out there?
if it's still there, we should absolutely go do
That's
it.
not where we're doing our show tomorrow. We're near there though. We're at
Dave and Buster's also very
Anyways, Dave and
fun.
Buster's.
very fun.
Super
Less
excited for that.
dangerous. You don't need someone riding on your back to play skee ball.
Can
You
you?
just
I
do it
ride on your
own.
back while you do Papa Shot
Yeah, if you
tomorrow.
want to.
All right,
Will
fine.
you roll a burrito tomorrow?
I will roll. If
Woods is
they-
going
if
to roll
I'm-
his first ever burrito.
If given the opportunity. My neighbor, by the way, walked out yesterday. I was playing in the street with my kids. My neighbor Ron walked out and he goes, "Woodsy, what's your problem? You can't roll a burrito?" I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm going to wear this for the rest of my life." But yeah, I'll roll one up tomorrow.
All right. Before we do anything else, though, let's to today's biggest fan announcement. Last couple of biggest fans before we pick our grand prize winner. Someone's going to win the 20 tickets for a night in the Odyssey Suite at a Padres game later this season. If you hear your name called, you'll have 10 minutes to call us back at 833-288-0973 to qualify. And this morning's biggest fan is Molly Sumner from Lakeside. Molly Sumner from Lakeside. You're the biggest fan on the clock right now. 10 minutes to call us in. But just this moment, it is official. And we've had to hold this news for a little bit. But the Padres have just announced something pretty big. This is a release. Former National League Cy Young Award winner and 2023 San Diego Padres Hall of Fame inductee Jake Peavy
is joining the rotation.
Is not joining the rotation, but he is joining the Padres as a special assistant to the CEO. Eric Grupner announced today. In his new role, Peavy will assist multiple departments within the Padres organization and serve as an ambassador to Padres fans and the San Diego community. Jake is back in the Padres family. Eric Grupner, quote here, "We're excited for Jake to rejoin the Padres after an outstanding playing career. Beyond his impressive accomplishments on the field, Jake brings a passionate, competitive spirit and leadership qualities that align perfectly with our organizational values. His wisdom, experience, and relationships in the game are invaluable as we continue to pursue a World Series championship for the city of San Diego and our fans." Obviously, our show, big fans of Jake Peavy as well. He was at our opening day broadcast a couple of years ago, and we're excited to have him in the organization.
Yeah. Our buddy,
awesome.
our buddy Jeff in the chat says, "Wait, he's still going to be a coach at fantasy camp?" The answer to that is unequivocally yes. I told you, I talked to him the other day. We talked a little bit about this, and he said, you know what he said? He goes, honestly, like, being at fantasy camp is really what made me want to be back around. He said, I loved it. He goes, I love it. I love the game. I was talking to him. He
wasn't to hang out with Ben and Woods more.
No.
He was already getting to.
As much as we would like to think that. Angela said, did Peavy take Loretta's job? Absolutely not. I checked on that yesterday. Mark Loretta is still there. Everything's good. You need
Eric Grupner has some very high profile special assistants.
He does. I don't even have one special assistant.
No, we have no special assistants at all.
Who would I pick to be my special assistant? Will you be my special assistant?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
You kind of already are a little bit. Kind of.
Adam can be your special assistant.
Pass. Is he around?
Yeah, he's somewhere around.
He drops too many balls, man. There's no way.
So
that's great, man. I love Peavy.
With this now officially announced, we can also announce ourselves that the newest member of the Padres organization, Jake Peavy, will be joining us at the bottom of the hour to talk about his new role in the Padres organization. So that will be a nice way to wrap up the Thursday program with Jake Peavy joining us in 30 minutes. So get the word out. Tell your friends. Jake Peavy back on Ben and Woods this morning, now officially a member of the San Diego Padres organization.
I love it, man. I love it. I love to see that from the organization. I love it for Peavy. He's just one of the best guys that you could ever hope to meet. You know, he and Hoffy remind me so much of each other. You know, Hoffy's I've said it a million times. He's the nicest Hall of Famer you will ever meet. If you didn't know who he was, you would not know he's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Jake's the same way. You'd never know that guy had the success that he did because he's so down to earth and he's so humble and so willing to help. And I love that he's back. I'm so excited.
And he brings that Peavy kind of edge and attitude with him.
No question.
I think a good thing to have around the organization.
He's great.
No doubt about it.
Yep.
And you know, Joe Musgrove's going to be a big fan of this move. He wears number 44 as a tribute to Jake Peavy, his favorite Padre when he was growing up. So, yeah, this is just kind of a win-win-win.
Paul's wife in the chat says, not too bad to look at either. Yeah. I mean, if you have a man crush Mount Rushmore, he's on it. 100%. Yeah. He's on there. Schumacher's on there. Trying to think who else I'm a big fan of.
Trevor Hoffman's
on there. Those three. 100%.
They all have similar kind of square jaws.
Yeah, I can't relate. Always wanted one.
We're more of the
round.
We're more of the rounded jaw faction in here.
My wife says I look like a thumb, and it's really fun when she says it. It's really great. Right here, look, side by side of the camera. You tell me. So it's great. It's great. What I wouldn't do to have a jawline like any of those dudes. It would be whatever you asked me to do. I mean, I would probably do it to have a jawline like any of those guys.
If you could look like any finger, which finger would you want to look
All right,
like?
it's a good question. The middle finger, obviously.
A ring finger, maybe?
The middle finger. That's what you want to look
finger.
like. Yeah.
You want to be the biggest,
tall
tallest
finger.
and
powerful, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Look at me.
Emphatic.
Side by side. Look.
Yeah, I can see it.
You see it?
There is a resemblance.
There's a resemblance.
Here, look right
Draw a
into
little
your
smiley
look
face.
Right
Okay,
into your
look into my camera.
All right.
Let's see. What do we got here?
You're on.
Okay.
Now let's see your
Do I need to turn to the side?
No,
or
you
anything?
just look right at it.
Okay.
And hold your thumb up.
Oh.
All right.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
Side profile.
Yeah. Thanks, babe.
It is better than looking like a toe.
That's true. You kind of look like a toe a little bit. Yeah, kind of a big toe. You actually look like a big toe.
No one wants to look like a big toe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you look like a big toe. Yeah, that's true, doesn't he?
All right,
You
then
have
now,
the
now
square
stretch
head.
your foot up to your face, and we'll
I
go side
don't.
by side.
My legs are long.
He can't get it up to that. Look at it. He's the most inflexible human on the planet. I've never seen anything like it. Look at him trying to yank his foot. Paul, you got to save that clip. You got to tweet it out. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen. He's trying to yank his foot. Like, you can't do this?
I can't, no. I can't even come close.
Holy crap.
Oh, God, dude.
My feet live a lonely existence.
Bro,
down there.
seriously.
They don't get to interact with the rest of me.
They
at all.
really
They're
don't.
They're so far away.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like in a different zip code down there.
It's fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Well, Peeve's coming back. He's going to be joining us in 20 minutes or so. So excited to talk to him.
What are we gonna ask Jake?
I don't know.
I mean, obviously the stuff about joining the Padres organization. But
Well, I mean, I talked to him the other day about, the lineup. What's he think? And what is his kind of honest assessment? He does such a great job on MLB Network too. I mean, I watched his spring training tour that they did, and it was incredible, man. He does such a good job. Just, of course, he's one of those guys. He's like, Flan tells the story about how he was trying to get Peavy, I think in his younger days, like, hey, man, you're a loose cannon. You need to find a hobby, right? And so he gives him the guitar. Well, what do you think happens? He picks up the guitar, starts playing it. Oh, I'm gonna try to sing a little bit. Oh, turns out I sing like an angel. I need to learn this slider. Hey, no problem. I'm gonna win a Cy Young. Oh, I'm gonna win a World Series. He's that guy where you're like, hey man, you want to try this? And he's like, oh, I'm great at it. So I have no doubt he'll be great at this, just like he did on MLB Network. Man,
yeah, he's talented. He's just got the gift,
the Riz,
whatever it is.
He's got the Riz for sure.
Yeah, I've been impressed with his broadcasting skills and acumen as well.
Yep.
So anyway, Jake Peavy is going to join us coming up at 9:35 this morning in our final segment of the day. That means I don't know if we have any Rindle Report headlines to get to. We could kind of try to speed that up. Otherwise, we'll just skip the Rindle Report today. And if there's anything we haven't missed, we can get to it. But we got NCAA basketball starting in just a few minutes. The Creighton Louisville game is first up. We're 4 minutes away. So if you haven't filled out a bracket yet, go very quickly because this is it. And then they will all be closed and locked down and no longer available to you coming up. We also have some Padres tickets to give away. We'll do that right before, I think, Jake, in our next segment as well. One more packet of tickets today for the games against the Guardians, the Jackson Merrill bobblehead game on March 31st. We got some tickets to give away coming up there as well. But let's take a time out. Make sure we have plenty of time for Jake coming up later at the bottom of the hour. We'll get traffic, and we'll come back with those Padres tickets to give away next on 97.3 The Fan. First, though, I'll tell you about Prize Picks, which is where I've been playing daily fantasy for the past few months, really enjoying it. Boy, is this a great day. If you haven't signed up for Prize Picks, this is the perfect day to do so. With all the college basketball action on, you could put together probably 10, 15 different lineups today if that's what you wanted to do. It's very easy. You download the app. When you do, use the code KWFN. You're going to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. So, hey, use that today. Set a bunch, 10 different $5 lineups. You can win big on a $5 lineup. In fact, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash on Prize Picks. You're just picking more or less on stat projections, 2 to 6 players. They've got a special square for Auburn's Janai Broom today, just half a point, more or less. Pick more. I won't give any spoilers there, but that makes it much easier to win with the special squares that you can use on Prize Picks. And start playing today while you're watching basketball. You're not going to be doing it anyway. In addition to your brackets, you can have your Prize Picks lineup and more at Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for detail. That is a screenshot that I'm not going to be able to get past.
The only reason your foot is up so high in that picture is because you're leaning way back.
If you're not following on our YouTube stream, Polly has captured me trying to show my toe on the camera. It's really hard for me, but somehow I've also added 3 or 4 chins. I'm leaning back as well at the same time. So,
oh boy,
all that work I did to lose the weight, somehow I can undo it all with one screenshot.
The face is never great. The pictures of Polly always gets us in the most compromising position.
Yeah, I try to avoid even getting into those positions, so there's no chance of it. But too late now. It's a done deal.
Any chance we can get that on a towel or something? Maybe a nice picnic blanket,
maybe tattooed on your body.
Oh, that's good. I did think of a good bet the other day. A good bet payoff. He won't do it. You won't do it. I'll be the only one that has to do it. But I walked into the gym the other day and I saw a grown man and he had the broccoli haircut. And I thought to myself, wow, can you imagine placing a bet, a show bet? And it's like, all right, if you lose, you got to go get the broccoli head.
You got to get a perm. That's how they do it.
I know.
Really? Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I thought it was just that their hair grew that way.
No, it's a perm.
I
mean, maybe if your hair is already naturally curly.
Taylor could do it.
Yeah.
My son's got naturally curly
all
hair.
Of us, you would get it straightened out, permed or whatever.
These are like teenage boys who are going
to get permanents,
perms, so
correct,
they can have the
broccoli head,
that specific style of haircut.
Well,
what's it actually called?
It's called the broccoli haircut.
It's not called the broccoli haircut.
It is a stalk of broccoli. That's what it looks like.
I know it looks like that, but it must have an actual name because no one's going in and asking, "Hey, can I get the broccoli?"
I think they are.
It wouldn't be popular if that was the name. It's got to have a more hip with it name than the broccoli.
Well, yeah, you have the Paulie gets like a fade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, somebody said it's called the Edgar. I think I've seen that too.
Edgar.
And I don't know why. Gus says the high taper. No, it's not a high taper because it's just a curl, doo-doo curls on the top.
No, it's not the Edgar.
The Edgar's not it.
Not quite. Not what I call it. The Jack Harlow.
The Jack Harlow, 100%. Yeah. There's the Morgan Wallen, which is also horrible. And then
mullet.
But it's more like the shaved sides mullet. That's also like the Theo Vaughn. And then the Jack Harlow is this guy in the gym. I walked by, I went, "Oh, you're not 17. You're like 34 and you're rocking the broccoli haircut." And I thought, what a great bet for one of us to do to pay off. But you'd never do it because you're on TV. Can you imagine showing up?
Don't you have to grow it out for a few weeks before you could even get to the point where you could do it?
Maybe.
Probably.
I mean, probably like a month, at least.
You probably have to go a couple weeks longer than when you would normally get your haircut.
Even to start. The Zoomer perm, I'm seeing in a couple places.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Paul, you couldn't do it, could you?
I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it. So it'd have to be me v. Ben, which he wouldn't do, which means I'd be the only one walking around with a broccoli haircut.
I'd probably let you pick out a tattoo for me before I...
How about Ben's foot on your arm?
Done.
You could never do it, though.
No, I could get a tattoo of Paul's arm on
That's
my
right.
foot.
Because your bosses would kill you.
That would not fly.
They wouldn't let you do it.
No,
right?
I don't think hair bits would fly. I'm surprised they even sometimes do let Movember, they do let anchors grow stashes that month, but that's about the only facial hair alterations that I see in television.
Jocelyn says that it's hard too, because when you have kids, Jocelyn says her 13-year-old keeps asking her for a perm. And she's like, "No, I'm not going to get you a perm." And it's hard because you want your kids to express themselves. But then again, you're like, are you really expressing yourselves? Are you looking like every other kid at school? Like, if you want to express yourself, all right, let's do it. You know, I'm pretty open-minded.
As a kid in the 90s, it was frosted hair, the frosted tips, and the bleached hair.
I bleached my hair
Not
one
like
time.
the full bleach, like Eminem.
Yeah.
But just the frosted tips, every single kid.
Did you frost them?
Oh, yeah.
Did you?
My whole soccer team, we won a game or something. Everybody did it. You had to do it.
We did the lines in our head, like the steps, and we shaved the back. And Brian Bosworth was a big player when I was in sixth grade.
As much as a childhood changes with, technology, and there's things that our kids have to deal with that we didn't, and I'm sure, it is very different. One thing that never changes
is there's always safety in numbers. And if you're doing what everybody else is doing and you don't stand out, maybe you can avoid the humiliation that you're just really always trying to avoid when you're that age.
That's really the truth. It's not like you're not an original thinker. It's more of like, I just want to fit in right now.
Right.
I don't want to get ostracized for
It's like
having
the most important thing as a kid.
It's just, you just like, there wasn't a lot of like, I need to stand out. It was like, no, I need to assimilate right now because I don't want to get my ass kicked for having a mohawk or an earring or whatever. But then everybody got earrings. I was like, oh, I need to get an earring. I mean, my dad almost killed me. I mean, he almost killed me.
What age?
15.
15.
Yeah. Came home with a diamond stud. And he was like, bro, I told you not to get one. Explicitly told you not to get one. And I said, oh, sorry.
That's why I got it.
That's why I got it. Had you not said anything, I probably wouldn't have.
Or
had you told me to get one, I wouldn't
Michael
have.
Jordan got one.
Everybody had them.
It's pretty cool.
Everybody had them.
Yeah.
I mean, so remember when we thought about getting you one? I still think it would fly on you. The Harrison Ford, the Ed Bradley.
I just don't know.
No, I know it would look good on you.
I don't. Yeah, I just don't know.
I can't wait for Midlife Crisis, Ben. I cannot wait.
We're getting a little late in the game.
We're not. There's never too late to have a midlife crisis. I've had 3 already.
Congratulations.
So I'm looking forward to my next one.
Scott says if the Padres win the World Series, all 3 of you get the broccoli.
Done.
100%.
Straight up.
I'm
in the World Series.
Win the World Series.
Fine.
Done.
I'll do anything for a World Series.
Yeah.
Mark this.
Mark it down.
Broccoli haircut.
Yeah, done. You take a week off work if you have to. You gotta wear it for a couple days, and then you can, get it
refix somehow.
Yeah. How long does it take for a perm? How long to get a perm? I feel like it's a long process.
You sit there for. I've never gotten one, but they put chemicals in your hair, right? That causes it to kind of curl up.
Yeah.
At least for a couple of weeks.
What is that? All right, I'll do it. Yeah, that's easy.
I'm thinking of how nervous I am of having to pay this off, which is really a direct correlation of how confident I feel in the Padres. It's not impossible. This is definitely not something that you could not see happening.
Correct. It's not like if the Marlins win the World Series.
Right. ESPN yesterday were picking their 6 teams that could knock off the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And the Padres were one of the 6. I mean, they poked holes in all the arguments, but Padres were definitely one of the better arguments for a team that if push came to shove, could take down the Dodgers.
If they can get in and they're healthy and they're playing well, sure,
Yes.
absolutely. But I have no problem paying that off. I think it would be phenomenal. I think the whole city should get it if that happens, man. If the Marlins win the World Series, I'll go base jumping, nude, downtown San Diego. Mark it down, Paulie.
You should do the iFly, those
nude,
indoor skydiving nude.
Fine by me.
All right, let's give away these Padres tickets. We got a pair of tickets to the Padres take on the Guardians on March 31st. First 40,000 fans that day will receive a Jackson Merrill bobblehead. You can get your tickets at padres.com/tickets, but you can win 2 right now for the 5th caller at 833-288-0973. 5th caller at 833-288-0973. You're going to get a pair of tickets for Padres Guardians on March 31st. That's a week from Monday at Petco Park. All right, we'll come back. The newest member of the Padres organization, Special Assistant Jake Peavy, is going to join us coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
We talk a long time about how 7 Mile is great for friends, hang out, have a good time, enjoy yourself. It's also a place for serious high-limit card players that are looking for action. They want to sit down at a Texas Hold'em table and go up against other high roller type players, sit down at a California style blackjack table, not worry about the stakes being too high. They can handle the action. They cater to high limit players at 7 Mile Casino.
They do, man. And you do feel that they do cater to everyone at 7 Mile Casino. It's a smoke-free environment. They got great food. The people are always very friendly. As I told you, I ran into a guy in line at the grocery store the other day. He said, man, I had to play at another place last night because it's closer to my house because he lives up in Oceanside. He goes, it's just not the same. For me, it was worth the drive going down to 7 Mile Casino. You have the 7 Mile Casino t-shirt on. We love it. You guys will love it too. If you haven't been yet, go check it out for yourself.
Yeah, while you're there, enjoy the patio on a beautiful day. It overlooks San Diego Bay. Gorgeous views all the way to Coronado. It's just fantastic. You're not going to find that at any of the other casinos or card rooms in San Diego. Hop on the 5.
head down south to Chula Vista, 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown. Very exciting news from the San Diego Padres this morning. The addition of Jake Peavy into the organization as the special assistant to the CEO. And we got Jake standing by. We'll find out about his new role right after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive the Oil Change, your trusted Instant Drive the Oil Change. Got a couple of problems wrapping up our morning drive. Northbound side of the 805 at the North 15 connector ramp. There's a collision over the right shoulder. Also, watch out for a stalled vehicle partially in lanes on or near the Lake Murray Boulevard off-ramp, eastbound 8. And we are getting reports of a car fire northbound 15 just before the 76. That's over to the right shoulder. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Oil Change centers. You don't have to get out of your car. It usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Plus, get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Quickly, congratulations to Javier. Won those Padres tickets. We'll have another pair to give away, I believe, tomorrow during our final show of the week. But right now, it is a pleasure to welcome back to Ben & Woods, the 2007 National League Cy Young Award winner, 2023 inductee into the San Diego Padres Hall of Fame, and as I just mentioned, new member of the Padres organization as special assistant to the CEO. Jake Peavy is with us here on Ben & Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Jake, congratulations.
Ben, too kind, buddy. Thank you very much. Look, what an honor to come back into the fold on this side of the playing career. And look, truth be known, is I had such a good time the last few years seeing you guys in spring training and fantasy camp, that I couldn't just handle seeing you once a year. I had to find a way to make this happen more.
Yeah, we have that effect on a lot
That's
of
what I
a lot of
suspected.
that's what we kind of thought anyway, Pete. No, I mean, what was the impetus for this, man? Obviously, we're elated to have you back. You coming to our opening day broadcast years ago is one of my favorite moments in 15 years of radio. Me asking you about the icy hot, in the nether. It was just one of my favorite days of all time, and the crowd was crazy. And at that time, it was that this was not the case. I mean, you were not back in the Padres family, so to speak. So, what was the impetus that got you back?
Well, I think that's what started it. It starts with Peter Seidler, Eric Grupner. I remember where I was sitting. I was at work with the network when I got a text from Eric Grupner asking if we could jump on the phone. And he just said, look, Peter's trying to link up with you, and we'd love to just talk with you. And that's where it started. I shortly got on a phone call with Peter, and he just was so welcoming and warming and wanting to bring back in some of the old alumni. I was super appreciative of it. And over the last few years, I've just gotten to know Eric Grupner really well. Tom Seidler has become a great friend and family. And just watching what they've turned San Diego into and then continuing to grow was super exciting for me in that world. And then, like you talked about, anytime that I was out there in engaging with the community and fans, it felt so right. It felt they were super appreciative to have me back around. I felt that, and I felt super gracious and grateful for the welcome home reception, kind of, so to speak. So this ties it all in a bow and just allows me to come engage. I was joking in some manner about being around you guys, but the Padres fans and family are my family, and San Diego is home. So to have reason to be out there more, to tie in with the team who drafted me, gave me my first chance, feels good.
I know, Jake, you've only officially been back for about 35 minutes, but what sweeping changes do you plan on making to the organization?
What's your first
now that you're here?
Order of business?
Well, you know me, guys. I'm coming in hot, right? I got a long list and what that long list entails is getting to know the Padres people. I told you I feel very comfortable with Eric and Tom, but just this past year expanded out and then being around Mike Shilton, some of the major league staff, being around Joe Musgrove and Camp 44, and just getting to know people. I certainly, in being traded twice, walking into brand new organizations, I felt like a huge mistake I made in Chicago. I came from Bruce Bochy and Buddy Black, and we were knocking on the door, playoff team. And I went to Chicago, and I didn't see a lot of the structure, Ozzie Guillen and that staff, and it was just ran completely different. and I went in guns a-blazing. This isn't right. This isn't right. And that's certainly not my role at all here as it was as a player, but it's something I've taken forth that when I went to Boston, I just got to know people, got to love on them, know them personally, understand what they do, what the organization's about, and what we're trying to do collectively. That's what excites me more than anything, is being back a part of a team of people trying to do the best for the community, trying to do the best on the field. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity, because San Diego is going to punch that ticket, and we're going to be world champions one day. I know you guys and many people have heard me say it time and time again, and probably tired of it. You get used to it, because it's going to happen. To know that I will be back in the fold and somewhat a part of that and get to see it and touch it and feel it is super special.
To the great Jake Peavy here on Ben and Woods this morning. And yeah, man, I talked to you the other day. We chatted a little bit about where the team is right now and how they're looking. I mean, look, you're an analyst as well. And as you analyze the team, I'm still seeing a lot of people that believe in the San Diego Padres. And one thing that we can kind of trust, Jake, is that what the roster looks like today is probably not what it's going to look like at the end of the year. I mean, AJ will wheel and deal. I'm actually
maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. I am not. Right. I'm super surprised there hasn't been. Somebody take his phone away from him, because I mean it's one of those things
Ron
where it's
Washington
like,
did.
yeah.
No longer allowed,
We forgot to talk about that.
Ron
Washington
topic today.
But no, I look at it and I go, man, you know, they're committed to winning. But what is your as an analyst, you know, when you look at this team? Tell them what you told me the other day about, you know, top of the lineup and stars being stars.
Well, I think you guys, I get misconstrued of my optimism sometimes.
Us too.
Being played as a homer. And look, we need to say this about AJ and taking his phone away in that seat. I've got some really close buddies now that have managed in the big leagues, David Ross, so to speak, and then Bruce Bochy, certainly some older, young, Craig Breslow, Chris Young. These are former teammates and great friends who I'm in touch with, are sitting in this general managers and presidents. Buster Posey, president of baseball ops, my good buddy. Us in media and analysts, we got all the right moves, and we want that job. When you sit in the seat and try to put this team together and try to build long-term success and budget-minded, and it is just the hot seat of all hot seats. For AJ to keep that seat for as long as he has and build the excitement around Padres baseball and us feeling like we have a chance every year has been something that shouldn't go unnoticed. Last year, you're one game away from beating the Dodgers and winning that world championship we're talking about. This team, I think why you haven't seen so many moves, I've certainly heard Cease's name. I was out on the spring training tour, and I'm hearing these other teams that are talking to the Padres tell me and asking me, getting intel. I know these guys have certainly been out there because we have to with the financial shape, I believe, that everybody kind of knows we're in and for flexibility wise. But when you start looking at this team on paper, for me, this winning a championship and getting in the playoffs are like that's the two biggest things. Like, you got to have a team that understands how to punch through in this 6-month grind and be good enough through the injuries and through all that's going to happen to get in the playoffs. And then you've got to have a team that's bulletproof by that point in time and healthy enough to run the gamut 1 month. And that's any team can do that. The teams that I punched through and won with, Boston, not the favorite. San Francisco, not the favorite in any situation. So I don't want to hear the Dodgers or these, yes, that might play out that their talent wins, but we get in the playoffs, you see, pound for pound, Micah King, Dylan Cease, and on and on. Nick Pivetta, know what he's made of in Boston. Darvish, we saw what he was made of. That's 4 studs that can be counted on the playoffs. Musgrove's got years left, and we saw what he's about. So how do you not like that with the back end of the bullpen and Suarez and Adam and Strada? You shore that stuff up at the trade deadline. I'm going to shut up here. But then our lineup's filled with stars. The top 6 are stars and are supposed to perform. They perform, we're fine. Let's see what we get out of the bottom guys. Jay Hay, love what he does team-wise. He's a championship player. So building off last year, let's just get this team in the playoffs, take our chances.
About to run through a brick wall right now.
No kidding.
Look, I know I've said a lot right there.
That's why they hired him.
You guys know the grind is getting in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Your guys are healthy and hot. Look, we've got a chance versus anybody.
I love it.
Jake,
I love it.
You mentioned Dylan Cease and Michael King. Last time we saw you was at Fantasy Camp, where we did the panel with the Cy Young Award winners, yourself and Mark Davis, Randy Jones. Of course, Blake Snell has one now, Gaylord Perry. I think those are two guys, though, legitimately with a shot to become the 6th Padres Cy Young Award winner. They were both top 7 in voting last year. What does it take, though, to have a full season? Obviously, health is the first thing, but beyond that, a full Cy Young Award winning season for either of those guys. Do you see it potentially happening?
Of course I do. You know, their talent level, and I mean, you see Dylan Cease is wanted by every team in the league. When I'm telling you, every camp I went to, people were asking me about Dylan and if I knew anything about his availability, everything. We saw King, and if you go out there and do what he did in a playoff start, when guys are absolutely concentrating their most against the Braves, and I know it wasn't all their guys, but still, you see that they have Cy Young stuff. I think what I'm loving is Joe Musgrove has really set a culture for starting pitchers, something I haven't seen in a long time there. And it's taken years, but this Camp 44, after I left you guys, I went to San Diego for a few days, got to know Dylan for the first time and Joe, and be around Ruben and staff, watch it work. I think when you ask me what it takes that. Blake Snell certainly took another step up because of his surroundings and you and Joe Musgrove being around him, and they got the best out of him for a full season. He wins the Cy Young. I think both of these kids leaning into experience around you and really having the support system that I know San Diego and the system has, that's what can get you sustained greatness through a great year. Maddox was around me, Chris Young, stablemates. Then I had incredible staff. That's what made the difference in me putting together a full season.
What was it like playing for Ozzie Guillen? You know, I've seen him on the post game for the White Sox. It's as wheels off as anything I've ever seen, man. I you know, it's great for us. We play the audio and we're like, oh my God,
love it.
Yeah, what was he like to play for? Did you guys go at it? Like I picture you guys going at it.
Oh man, of course. There was there was a certain freedom over in Chicago that I revel in. And me and Woodsy the other day, when we talked about getting our kid, we talked about coaching our little league kids. Last night I was on the little league field, I'm trying to get these 10-year-olds to play with a freedom that they play with in the backyard, because when the lights get on and there's pressure on it, we just don't perform like that. There was something about Ozzie Guillen that took all that pressure off and let you perform, and I watched guys succeed under it. There was a lack of structure, and you know, I came up with a phrase. We were in New York one time, and it was just a craziness going on around the Chicago White Sox at this time. And Lou, the visiting clubhouse guy, looks up and goes, "Damn it, who's in charge around here?" I said, "Lou, the situation's in charge, buddy." With the Chicago White Sox, like Ozzie, look, great friend, and like I said, once I just understood that it was a loose ship being run and everybody kind of man for himself, I thrived in it. I found my way and had one of the best years I've ever had in 2012, coming off of surgery. And was an all-star again with Chris Sale and Adam Dunn, Paul Konerko. So, but shit show to say the least, Benny.
I love it.
Okay, so Jake, I can't believe I don't know the answer to this question, because I've known you since you were drafted by the Padres, 1999, out of Mobile, came up as a 19-year-old to make your first start. Auburn or Alabama? And they're both in the tournament. They're both top seeds.
Bama.
I don't know.
I get to cheat so hard in this world, and you're about to hear it. So, grandpa family, diehard Alabama fans. If you grow up here, there's not much to be proud of being from Alabama, guys. I don't know if you know that.
The Mobile Leprechaun. Crichton area. Where the gold at?
Celebrated St. Patty's Day.
Yep.
You haven't seen the Mobile Leprechaun YouTube that.
It's the best. We just play it every year. We play it every year.
Might be a crackhead.
You guys are taking me off the world. No, but look, Alabama, Auburn. So I grew up a diehard Alabama fan. That was something to be proud of, being from Alabama. And so come now time to go to colleges, Alabama offers me $500 of a scholarship in Auburn and other SEC schools, full rides. Wow. I signed with Auburn and go, I'm going to, make sure that Alabama regrets this decision. Well, I never made it to Auburn because I signed with the Padres. So Auburn treats me, and Tim Hudson was at Auburn, big reason why, right-hander, and they were letting him play a position also. So I was going to Auburn, so Auburn treats me as a signee, as a commit. I was going there, and I have incredible access friendships there. And then also, once you get asked to start donating money, people don't care who you pull for if you give them some money. So Alabama has been, I'd love to give Alabama and the school some money. They've built an incredible baseball, basketball program now. Football has certainly been the pride. So it is absolutely both for me, which is hard to say. But I spend most of my time outside of the state these days. And so I'm proud of both schools.
That's okay. I'm cheering for SDSU and UCSD at the same time here in San Diego. I think there's room for both in my heart.
Head to head, I'll say roll tide.
There you go. I figured as
All right,
much.
they could meet at some point in the tournament, so I was just curious. Now, a lot of people in the chat wondering, you're still going to be doing all your MLB network stuff as well. You're not giving that up for this job, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I've had such a good time being back in and doing that. The friendships, the teamwork that goes into that, I love. This is just going to be separate of that. And this just has a little bit of floating around, a little bit of the baseball ops that we talked about of Joe Musgrove and being around for that a little bit, and spring training, and then maybe some instructional league. And then certainly corporate partnerships. And what I'm most excited about is what Tom Seidler and the Padres Foundation do, and being that ambassador and on the community engagement side of things. And then look, I'm not gonna mention any names, but our broadcasts over the years have been crashed. Some good, some not so good. I think we've got the best, if not the best, if not one of the best broadcast groups in the world. Donnie and me go back to 13 in Boston, win a championship together, Mudcat, from my earliest days. So going to crash their broadcast and ending here and there.
Nice. I love it. Love it.
Well, Jake,
This is a great move.
congratulations. We're all really excited about the news this morning. Jake Peavy back in the Padres organization, which means we'll get to see him more often. Can't wait for it. Really, really excited about the news. And thanks for joining us.
Buddy, I appreciate both of your guys' support along the way. I'm looking forward to spending more time together.
Thank you, man. Us too.
There he is, Jake Peavy, special assistant to the CEO. Yeah, he's still going to be on MLB Network. You want him having his ear to the what's going on out there. I mean, that's his value. You don't want to chain Jake to a desk.
Right.
That's not where his value is. You want him out with, listening to all the organizations, and he's in a perfect spot to do that with his MLB Network job. And then he brings all that info back into the Padres front office and contributes how he can throughout the year. So perfect role for Jake, and so glad to have him back with the team, back with the Padres.
Dominic says, near the top of the list of best things the Pods have done this offseason. 1,000% win-win.
Love
win across the board. I talked to him. I took it as my opportunity to pitch him on coming on this show more often, and he said he would. He absolutely said, I'd love to join you guys, love to talk to your audience. So we will, as needed, reach out to Jake and get him on the show when we can, because he's always, listen to him. He's nuts. It's great. It's exactly what you want.
Before we go, speaking of Padres organizational news, this will probably not be a name a ton of tier ones are familiar with, but I wanted to say a major thank you to Danny Sanchez,
100%.
who's been a part of the Padres organization for
13
years and is leaving. He's got an absolutely great new opportunity. I won't announce that for him. I think that's going to be announced somewhat today, but he is leaving the Padres organization. And Danny was such a pleasure to work with on their PR staff. You've probably seen him. He did most of the Spanish language translations. If you saw an interview that was done and it was translated, he was usually standing next to the player in the Padres clubhouse doing those translations. But Danny, really nice guy. Loved just catching up with him in the Petco Park dugout.
Yep.
Set up a lot of our interviews and everything. It was always a pleasure to work with, and I wanted to thank him and wish him the best of luck in the future in his new exciting endeavor that he's going to be doing.
Yeah, I love Danny. One of the
best.
One of the G's, man. It's a bummer that he's gone, but totally get it. Just a great human being. Great human. Spent a lot of time with Danny. Great dude.
Always happy to see him coming along. Spring training, during the regular season, whenever. Those guys behind the scenes, they work really hard.
A lot of work, man.
Long hours, lots of travel, and not for the kind of money that players and coaches are making. They just do it because they love baseball and they love the organization. All right, that's it for us. We will be back, remember, tomorrow live from Dave and Buster's starting at 6 a.m. Looks good for us if you all show up. So, Tier 1s, we'd love to see you there. For Paul Rindle and Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Braden coming up next. Don't go away. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.